And welcome to the Absolute Football Podcast, Absolutely Lower League, the show dedicated to everything from the EFL Championship, League One, League Two, the Vanarama National League, and the Vanarama National League North and South. Not many of us tonight, but never mind. There's more than enough of us to talk football. Jen, how are you and how's your week been? I mean, last week you weren't on. And obviously it was quite negative news, but we've had some positive news, haven't we, this week, which we will come on to. But apart from football, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm doing all right. We don't talk about the football side. We're all right. But personally, I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm really, really good, thank you. I'm in my Rochdale shirt. I'm hoping no Boston fans come in tonight because obviously, you know the saga. I was fuming as well. I will get onto it a little bit later, but I was fuming. Saved all my calories up for a pie. Didn't get my pie.
Fuming.
I mean, call the game off all you want, but let me in for my pie.
Yeah.
But of course, it's not just me and Jen. We've got the person who rhymes with Jen. We've got Ben.
Hey.
How are you and how's your week been? I feel like I'm letting everyone down because my name's Shah or Charlotte.
No, you beat yourself. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I'm all right. I thought I'd mark the occasion today. You know, in fact, we played 2 games this week, haven't won either of them. So I thought I'll wear our unlucky purple shirt that we never used to win in, I swear. So I thought it'd be better bring the tone down a little bit on everything. But yeah, no, I think week's been all good. We're looking forward to another big game at the weekend, though.
And just to make you even more happier, I told you off air, didn't I? We are actually starting with National League South first. It wasn't a happy bunny, everyone in the chat, I tell you.
The 1 week she wants to start with the National League South when we don't win a single game.
Get it out of the way, though, can't you? You can get it out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
But of course, it's not just me, Jen, and Ben. I'm going to say that for the rest of the night. I like it. JCB. Sorry, everyone. I got a bit giddy over that, didn't I? We've got Kyle. He's put, good evening, you absolute legends. How are we all doing tonight? We're really well, thank you. We've got Luke as well. All right, everyone. Time to talk some football and about how incredible Gateshead are. If you want, Luke, feel free to tell us how incredible Gateshead are. And if you want to come on, I'll send you the link and jump on. The more the merrier. We've got Chris as well. He's put good evening all. And he's put, well, 2 different games for me to talk about and the goal of the season contenders as well. Oh, interesting. We will be coming on to National League North next after National League South because Ben's so excited to talk about it. It's fun. And we have Europa League as well. I know. I'm sorry. Do you know what? I genuinely felt bad because I feel like we haven't started with it for a while. So I thought it'd be nice. And then as I were doing the graphics, I thought maybe it's a bad choice.
No, but we understand the reasons behind it. So, you know, we'll get on with it. We will.
We've got our ladies, but hi all, can we avoid League One, please? If you want. I mean, there's some news coming out of League One today, what we will talk about, but we can avoid Wrexham if that's what you want, Aled. He has put worst home performance I've seen from us in 2 to 3 seasons. Oh, not good. We've got someone who does want to talk about League One now, I think. We've got Graham. He's put, good evening, you beautiful people. Hello. We've got as well, what the heck is a rag pudding from Rochdale? Oh, rag puddings are the best. Honestly, they are the best. It's meat and gravy and like a suet paste. It's unbelievable.
Oh, I think I've seen those before, yeah. Is that a northern thing? Because I swear I've never seen those down south.
Oh,
okay.
I'm dreaming about them now.
Yeah.
Chris has put, Ben, that top is lovely.
I don't think so. It's not one of our better away kits. It's very generic. So many teams use this. I swear. I think I've already seen Alan's coming back. We had Wrexham had a similar one. Not surprised. I mean, they just brought it on Macron, stuck a badge on, stuck a sponsor on, done. It was that simple. Not even our own design.
We've got Simon as well. He's put evening all, evening. Yeah, did say exactly the same, but different sponsor and badge. Yeah, I'll be Chen. So we've got Chen, Jen, and Ben. Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
This is why we need a Graham in our life. Everyone needs a Graham in their life.
That's Chinese, that.
Yeah.
It didn't score either, if I remember correctly. We have got as well. Looking forward to League One chat. Rag pudding, any good? Yeah, really, 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 really good. Better than pies, because I don't get pies anymore. Blame my club for it. Gates have been incredible. Haven't won a game in 2025 yet. You didn't lose, though. I'm sure they got a job. Was it Oldham they were playing? Pretty sure they were. Can't wait to talk about Super Frankie Lampard. Oh, got Happy Simon. Sean has put good evening, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Let's skip League One. Everyone wants to skip League One.
It's going to be a short podcast tonight, isn't it?
I know. There's only 3 of us and we want to skip a league. I mean, it'll be over in half an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
No one wants to talk football, honestly.
I tell you what, though, this week, Johnny, I didn't have to banter you with the graphics because the result bantered you enough.
We'll just talk about rag pudding for the next couple of hours. I think that might be the way forward.
Shall I just rant about Dale's pitch and pies just so we can do that?
Hey, it gets his views, doesn't it?
Exactly. But there's one place that we are going to have to start with. Do you want to get it out of the way and talk Maidstone, or do you want to talk about the rest of the league first?
I think we might as well get this one out of the way because obviously it's a big turning point in the season, I guess, for the team that got the 3 points over us, I guess. So, we have a good old top of the table clash against Worthing, and it was probably a game that I don't think either side wanted to lose beforehand because of the implications of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still a long way to go. It just felt like it was one of those where it's one you just can't afford to drop points in, really, because of the way the league's going at the moment. It is one of the most exciting title races, to be fair, I've seen for quite a long time. And I didn't expect for how many teams are about there, so I'm not surprised about this time with the National Service Week. But, we got off to the perfect start as well. We scored after about 4 minutes. Temi Aweka getting on the end of a free kick. Well, cross, back post, back across goal, and then headed it in on the line. And then you think, all right, here we go. We got the crowd going, and hopefully we can sort of go on from there. And so about 2 minutes later, we nearly made it 2. So Wanja Smith had a shot at the near post saved. And, we were all over for that first sort of 10 minutes. And then suddenly Worthing sort of just trying to settle into the game a little bit and doing what they do best, which is playing from the back, knocking the ball out nicely. To be fair, they were so much more effective at it than they were at the game at their place. They weren't at it at all. And I think their manager made it very clear that they've become a very different side. And so have we, though, to be fair. But once they got their equaliser, and again, Aweka going from 0 to 0, heading in at his own end, you're thinking, oh, God, right, it's all back on. And then from then on, I thought Worthing dominated the first half. They probably had the better chances. We knew full well that, my man I love so much, I had a really good chat with him before the game as well. Mo Fowle coming back to haunt us in front of our own home crowd at the Genco end. Danny Cashman, who, by the way, was absolutely phenomenal in that first half for Worthing, creating chance after chance. I know, Shah.
He's going to come back to haunt us on Saturday, 100%.
I would be aware of him big time because he's in man in form at the moment. But he played a lovely ball cross for Mo Fowle, who's managed to sneak in at the near post. But, tell you what, a massive amount of respect to Mo Fowle because I did talk to him before the game. He was a great guy. I really got on with him last year when he was with us. He was like, I'm not going to celebrate in front of the Stones fans. And to be fair, he was getting so much abuse, which I don't know why. He was getting a lot of, boos and stick from the supporters. I'm thinking, hang on, this is a man actually wanted to come back at the start of the season, but it just never happened. He actually still, even after all the booings and abuse he was getting, he still put his hands up, to the supporters, praying towards them, like, thank you, thank you for your support sort of thing. It was. I don't see that from many players, ex-players we've had in the past. It was really nice, especially he was only a loan player to us last year, but he's a massive, he's a humble guy, and I just knew full well that he was going to do it against us again. But and then we needed half time to come really because Worthing missed 2 brilliant chances. I think Cashman missed an open goal. They had another couple of really good chances they really should have buried, and it could have been all done. And then second half, we've come out a different side. I think Worthing have had to sit back a little bit, and to be honest, we've had about 80% of that second half where we've had the ball. They've not really got anywhere near us. I think they had one cleared off the line, but apart from that, it was all us. But I think the only problem was we didn't have that cutting edge. We had so much of the ball, but didn't really do enough with it. We had so many corners, didn't test the goalkeeper. I think, to be fair, our better chances came in the first half, but you just felt that we could well get an equaliser, and we were probably unfortunate not to have one because we did have a goal ruled out for a foul on the goalkeeper, which obviously he dropped the ball originally from a corner, and it looks to have gone over the line beforehand, and then Aweka's sort of gone in and poked it in, but apparently a judge have kicked it out the goalkeeper's hands, when he's dropped it. But after seeing replays, I think it's very harsh. I think we're probably very unlucky not to have got an equaliser, but do you know what? An absolute massive credit to Worthing because they showed the different sides of their game, because defensively they haven't been all that great this year, but they've managed to put 45 minutes of real grit against the side that are right at the top, challenge for the vast majority of 2,600 behind the stones and putting pressure on them. But yeah, they got it done, and that was a massive 3 points for them. And it's a massive disappointment for us because it just felt like if we got a point, then it changes the whole complexion of the table. As stupid as it sounds, like that one draw. But yeah, it's a long way to go yet. It's still lots of twists and turns to come, as it shows everyone's still got to play each other around the top and everything. So people are going to drop points. But yeah, it was a bit of a kick in the teeth because I felt like we deserved a point out of it. But an absolute fair credit to Worthing because I think they were worthy of the 3 points in the end, just about. So yeah, disappointment, but we go again.
I'm really nervous, for Saturday. And I have been for a while because I just think Danny Cashman, and it didn't end on bad terms. He just obviously ended his loan with us, and we actually had him on loan from Coventry at the time. It was when Robbie Stockdale was our manager. But the more I'm seeing Worthing and I'm seeing clips and videos, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game because we've got one of the best defences, obviously, in the league at the minute, in the National League. I know Worthing is scoring goals, but vice versa as well. Whereas we're scoring goals, I think Jim will put a really strong team out. So I'm actually gutted I'm not going because I think it'll be a really, really entertaining game. But I am so nervous. And even listening to you there, Ben, I was like,
I would certainly be nervous, yeah, because you know what? They were actually so effective. And that's because you two play quite similar styles of football, don't you?
Yeah,
so you like playing it out from the back. And that will be quite interesting to see because do you know what? Not many teams this year probably created the amount of chances that Worthing did in that first half because, that's the thing. After Boreham Wood's, sort of demise at the weekend and what's going on for them, we've got the second best defensive record by 1 goal. And, that's the thing. Had they had their shooting boots on Worthing, they could have easily had that 3 or 4. So, yeah, they are a side to be reckoned with. And I really am thinking now, after seeing them on Saturday, do you know what? They've actually got a really good shout of winning the league. I still think they're going to have enough for it. But do you know what? I think if Worthing play like they have done the last week or so, they've got every chance and they will rip teams apart. They've just got to keep those top players up the end of the pitch fit. And, they're just creating loads of chances and they're just so good with the ball. They've got good footballing players in there. Like they just knock the ball out. Like, it's very hard in National South and how smaller the pitches are to get out tight areas. And do you know what? They were so good at it. And so I actually admired it, to be fair. Like as much as obviously it was frustrating, you think, come on, press on them harder. Just try and force mistakes. They were so good at it. So yeah, do you know what? Massive credit out to the manager because he was really under a huge pressure. I think after they lost to us, and they're thinking, he could be gone. But he's turned it right around, and they're in an unbelievable form now. I think that's 10 unbeaten for them. So yeah, they're in a great place. But they've got to make sure they maintain that now for next week. And then again, will they have one eye down the FA Trophy because they get through? They're only 3 couple of games away from Wembley. So
exactly,
I wonder what priorities they'll look at this stage now.
Exactly. In the chat as well, we have Green Acres. They have put Worthing were pretty decent last season. A bit unfortunate to lose their manager and best player to York, but they seem to have regenerated.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Yeah.
This made me laugh as well. Do you know what? I was waiting for a comment like this. I was waiting. We play away, thank you very much.
At least beyond this is a 3G pitch, so at least you have a game to look forward to keeping on Saturday.
Honestly, I was waiting for a comment. I said off air, didn't I, to you both? I was like, I wonder if anyone will come in and mention our pitch. I'll just put as well, Worthing probably should have done it last season, and maybe losing out in the playoffs has given them more impetus to I can't even speak today. I can't even speak, honestly. But yeah, I completely agree, Alice. Johnny has put, Shah, I ordered my Rochdale shirt this week for when I come over for my birthday. Oh, very nice. Which one have you ordered? We will look at the other games of the weekend. So any standouts on here? I mean, Ben, Emil. Emil.
I know, pulling out of the bag again. Do you know, that's the thing. Do you know, there were actually some big results to me because this was the frustrating thing. And you could picture George Elokovi's reaction when we told him, yeah, by the way, Gaffer, the top two have lost. And you're just like, oh, God, you're joking.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, do you know what? Where the hell did Bournemouth 1, Chippenham Town 4 come from? Because I don't think anyone had that position. I had a comfortable, probably 3-0 for Bournemouth on that one. But to tell you what, good probably Chippenham. I've watched the highlights in that. Nathan Ashmore, my God, he had a poor game. Probably at least 2, if not 3 of the goals he was at fault for, particularly the first one. It was just really strange how he saved it. You know, he sort of just stuck a leg out, you know, standing up. You just think, gives your hands off. That's what he had the gloves for. But like I said, I think, you know what? I think that's the kick up. Like, I think everyone's getting a bit, you know, the kick up the backside that they need. And I think Bournemouth would have got that one from Saturday, albeit they lost on Tuesday as well. But to lose 4-1 at home to Chippenham, who, you know, again, Chippenham, one of those sides that are just happy to be in this league. You know, they're quite happy. They know they're punching above their weight. But what a huge result for those Chippenham fans, because no one would have expected them to go to Bournemouth on that surface. You know, playing against Luke Garrard's side, who are very effective at what they do. 4-1 is better than what they could have asked for. So massive. Yeah, well done on that one. And then Hampton coming out with an absolute, you know, worldly result against Torquay. I mean, Hampton, to be fair, is in good form at the moment. They're starting to, you know, stake their claims for a playoff place now. I mean, albeit they're still a little bit off at the moment, but they're hitting good form. And Alan Julian's now suddenly got a side together now that he's gelled together, because they found it very hard at the start of the season. But they've gradually got better and better. And they really are starting to knock the door now on that top 7. And what, big result is again, that was a huge crowd as well. Talking, it was over 4,000 there, you know, for a National South game, which is brilliant. And it shows the coverage that the league's getting at the moment because of this title race. But yeah, no, that's a big one. But like I say, I think Hemel against Truro, big result for Hemel. Lee Allison's actually gone in there. Now he's actually, you know, rejuvenated that side, because they were heading one way and that was towards the bottom 4. And, you know, they've managed with Bobby Wilkinson was in charge, but he's got in there. It's been a bit iffy, but they've picked up a couple of really good results. When they have won, they've won quite well. So, they are starting to hit a little bit of that form maybe that they did at the start of the season, albeit now I think that early start to the season will probably keep them up. But yeah, again, if they're taking the points against Truro, who Truro have been very good this season, then they've got every chance of finishing in a good mid-table position where they should be very comfortable.
Go on, the Emil.
Go on, Emil. Apart from when we go there, I don't like
of course not. Yeah, not a chance. Lucas put no 0-0s. I know. No 0-0.
No, that is a strange one. Yeah, because not often that happens in this league.
Green Acres has put that is one competitive division. I completely agree. Johnny has put this to you as well, Ben. Do you think Weston-super-Mare losing is a shock?
Not at this moment in time, I don't think, because they've hit a bit of bad patch at the moment. And I think, to be fair, when you look at the result, losing 4-1 at home to Welling, and Welling have been in very bad form. They're slowly dipping towards that bottom 4. So that's the thing. They would have probably seen that as maybe a good way to kickstart their season again. I mean, they're, I think, 6-7 points off the playoffs at the moment. After at one point, they were top of the league. So, yeah, they've really sort of slipped down. I don't know whether it's a case of, you know, a bit like us, to be fair, that, you know, they're struggling with a bit of depth. They need a few extra bodies to go in there and help them out because, it's a long old season, 46 games in this league. And, I think they've found it a little bit struggling recently. I don't know if it's starting to catch up with them. But, it is a shock. Don't get me wrong. I think there is a shock losing 4-1 to Welling. But in the current form, maybe not so much.
Obviously, we did have a few midweek games as well. 0-0. Do you want to talk about the 0-0? Did much happen?
To be honest, there's not really that much to say in it, to be honest, because it's one of the worst games I've watched this season. If not the worst game I've watched this season, because I don't remember us playing against 10 men for 45 minutes and us not having a shot on target at all. I just think we were not at it at all. And I will give the players the benefit of the doubt in a way because it was very, very poor conditions because we had a strong wind. I was out on the pitch before the game. The wind was so strong coming in my face. You had the rain as well come in. So first half, they had to really, battle against the wind. And I thought the boys defended brilliantly. And to be fair, Shelton didn't really create that much. And then you think right before half time, they get a man sent off, which was deservedly so because that Jordan Greenwich, who's actually the brother of one of our defenders, Reece Greenwich, they played against each other a few times now. He got sent off a kick in Temi Aweka in the face whilst they were on the floor, so he deserved the red card. But then the second half just didn't get going whatsoever, even when we had the wind with us and the extra man advantage just didn't take advantage. So we were a bit I felt that was 2 points dropped for us, and that would have taken us top of the league at least for 24 hours. So I was a bit disappointed by that, but. Yeah, it's another clean sheet on the road, and we're happy about that. But obviously, we need to get back into winning ways, and what better way to do that with another big one on Saturday against Torquay? So it's going to there'll be a good 3,000 or so, I reckon, expected for that one. So yeah, no, that what a way that thing. If we win that game, everyone forgets about the last week. That's the thing. That's how quickly this league can turn at the moment because of the points gap is only 3 between us and the top. It's still a very long way to go, but we are needing some extra bodies, or maybe some quality. I think because we've added a couple of extra bodies. We brought in Hemmel's top goal scorer Ricardo German. He's a bit rusty. Hasn't had much game time, and he's still finally a bit of a struggle at the moment. So we're trying to get him up to scratch. And we brought in Bailyn Johnson on loan from Cardiff City. He seemed like a quick, nifty player, but again, he hasn't been able to properly play to his strengths yet. And he needs someone that hasn't played a lot recently, so he needs a bit of time. But yeah, hopefully it will all come together before Saturday. Let's hope.
In the chat as well, we have Liam. He's put playoffs are going to be very interesting this season. Up the Dorking. I mean,
they've overtaken us. They have now on goal difference on Mark White's team. We had a 5-point gap in them like this time last week, and now suddenly they've overtaken us in goal difference. So again, that's how quickly it changes. Yeah. But yeah, do you know what they're starting to hit form now? They're getting their better players back, and I think they've got a good shout, to be up there. This is the problem. Like I keep saying, oh, this team can win the league, this team can win the league. It is really anyone's game. That's the thing, because there's so many teams in there that can win the league for so many different reasons, and that's why it's actually probably the most exciting National South. If you're a neutral outside, it's been given a lot of coverage this week about how tight it is. And, if we can get to maybe the last couple of months of the season, the way it is and still not much of a gap, then who knows? It could be anyone's. I want to be a betting man on it, put in that way on who's going to win this league. But my betting is still, I think it's going to be Boreham Wood, but who knows? Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to. It's not hitting that at the moment. Not we keep dropping silly points to Chelmsford.
One team I wanted to mention, obviously, we dropped points midweek and at the weekend as well. Slough.
Yeah, Slough. They are slipping down that table now a little bit, and after again another bit like Weston-super-Mare had a really good start to the season. Again at one point they were top of the league, so it really shows how the strength of this league this year, that it's all changed. I think when you look to the top 7 after about 10 games, don't think maybe 1 or 2 of them are still in the top 7. The rest are will come back right up. So it just shows the quality of this league this year. It's such a hard league, and that's the thing. The bottom 4 teams, I think, are finding it a big struggle because they know that every game's a cup final because everyone's still got so much to play for. And I know every team could say that at this stage because we're only just halfway through. But when you look at the context of things, like teams can't be affording to drop points, particularly in the positions they're in. So it is becoming a lot tougher now week by week, and this is why everyone needs to try and strengthen their side. And again, I think Slough are having that problem. I don't think they're strengthening their side, probably because again they haven't got the resources like some of the the bigger clubs in this league have. So it's not a surprise, but again that's a big response there for Western because they really needed that after Saturday's drubbing. So it might be the kickstart they need to get back towards that top 7 again.
Sean put as well, Western was super at the start of the season. Now they've had a mare. The bottom game.
I've had a Weston-super-Mare joke in this podcast. Jeez, we'd be very rich right now.
I know. The bottom game as well, I did want to mention as well, because what a massive win. Obviously, we did mention Worthing before, but especially against Boreham Wood, what a win for them. And obviously, they did go top of the league, didn't they?
Yeah, 100% big win for them. They had to come from behind in that game as well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And they were given a helping hand before half-time. Chris Bush, one of their more experienced players for Boreham Wood, got himself a silly red card he did for pushing Mo Farrell into the boardings, albeit it wasn't as bad as maybe as the one that, Kane Wills got the other week from Matt Briggs. But obviously, at the same time, you've given the referee the opportunity to send him off. I personally think, it probably should have been a yellow because I don't think it was as bad as what people make it out to be. But if you do that, you're giving the ref no choice, to be honest, and you give him a big decision to make, and it's costing their team. But yeah, Worthing, unlike us on Monday, managed to break down the tide with 10 men, twice. And, with the way they play, they've stayed patient. And, that's what a big result that is. Like I say, what a big week it's been for Worthing, because I don't think this time last week they would have imagined taking 6 points out of those 2 games, to be fair. They might have maybe thought 4 points at best, but 6 points, they'll be absolutely pleased with that. And, that's now making everyone really look at them and think, oh, actually, they might be the team to watch out for now, because that's the thing. Everyone's form is changing slowly and slowly. It'd just be interesting to see when we get to that last month of the season about who's really still in the mix. And I think Worthing will be one of those sides, to be fair. I think they've got enough about them. So, yeah, look at that. It's ridiculous.
It's so fun, though.
Oh, it is. It is if you're not involved in it. But if you're not, honestly, though, that's the thing, because even with Weston's win now, that puts them mistaken a claim for the playoffs again, which obviously I was like, we've got a bit of a cushion on that. Now suddenly, we lose a couple of games, we could slip out of it. That's the thing. It's absolutely crazy, and that's the thing. Dorking now, I mean, that's the thing. It's all going to be interesting to see, obviously, Worthing and Boreham Wood, or especially Worthing, if they can see out that game in hand they've got, then they could really give themselves a bit of a lead at that top. That's the thing, is making sure they take advantage of those games now. Obviously, I think they'd rather have the points on the board, which at this stage they'll be pleased with, thinking that they're 3 points clear with a game in hand over a few of the teams below them. They'll be so pleased with that. But yeah, I think if anyone, I think if I did have to be man out of that top 7, obviously apart from us to win that league, I wouldn't mind if Worthing did it, because the way they play is so exceptional.
Definitely.
I don't think he might do it for them in the National League. I think they might struggle with it, but because obviously they play similar way to Dorking. But who knows? Do you know what? They've got a manager who's very young. He's not very tried at the moment. He's very new into the management game, but he's built on the good work that Adam Hinchwood's done. And to be fair, it's almost a bit like when they lost, like Liverpool lost Jurgen Klopp in replace of Arne Slot. He just carried on the way that they've been playing, and the way they're just almost like he's never been gone. I think that's the same now with Worthing. I think after a difficult start to the season, now they really are starting to show that form that they showed last year, which really, like having the comment earlier said, they should have got promoted last year. It was a big shock they didn't win that final against Braintree, but again, it was on the day. So it was always going to be anyone's game. But yeah, it's an exciting few weeks. I'm looking forward to see where we are. So I think if we can beat Torquay on Saturday, I'd love to see what that does for the table, because again, that would be demoralising for Torquay, because again, it's another game where neither side's going to want to lose, because we've played the same amount of games now, but obviously our goal is just about edging them. So yeah, if we can win that, then who knows, it might put us right back in the contention. So that's the thing, it shows how quickly it changes. It's crazy, such an exciting league this year. Unbelievable.
And just looking at it, it's absolutely mental. I think I do agree though with Luke's comment. I know obviously we have concentrated more on the top at the minute. At the bottom, I was thinking the bottom 4 are pretty much goners. It's looking likely at the minute, isn't it? But it's going to take something really drastic to happen, isn't it?
The bottom 3 are confirmed for me, and I said that at the start of the season that they'd be the bottom. Those would be in the bottom 3. Weymouth definitely not staying up. They're not good enough. They've been way below par. Enfield, they've picked up a couple of results, but they're just going to fall short. I think the only chance, I think I'll give St Albans half a chance, because the management, are slowly starting to get things together. They're picking up, chipping off little points here and there. But it's a case of that if they lose a game and Welling win, and then suddenly it's a massive gap again. But that's the thing, St Albans, especially that game in hand over Welling, they need to take advantage of that, because that puts a little bit of pressure then on Welling. And Welling aren't, the best side to watch. I think a lot of people there around their club know that, this is where they probably are as a club at the moment. Battling it down at the bottom of the table. And yeah, I could see maybe them slipping into that position potentially. But I think the bottom 4, I think if you're looking at it right now, I think, to be honest, that's probably them 4 done. But it's still 18 games to go, and it takes 2 wins, and then suddenly you're thinking, oh, actually they've given themselves a fighting chance. That's all it takes, and it's with the league, the way the league's been, nothing surprising me at the moment. And I'll be interested to see, like, say, how it goes for them, because obviously bottom form Des have still got to play each other quite a few times, so that's going to be massive for them and taking points off. So we'll see if we're still able to get on.
Honestly, like, since we got relegated to National League, and I've been more interested in obviously National League North and National League South, it's so exciting. Like, people always say, like, the top 4 leagues, like your Premier League right down to League 2, like the Football League, but non-league is just mental, isn't it?
Yeah,
so crazy.
Especially when it's obviously since they put the new format in, ever since they introduced the extended playoffs and that, it has made things a bit more interesting, because it did seem like almost a close shop a little bit, for the teams in the top 5, if you had the bigger budget. But I think the whole point of this is obviously to try and bring a bit more competition and make the season a bit more exciting. And you know what? I think a lot of people weren't in favour of those eliminator rounds when they first came in. But you know what? I think they're absolutely fantastic. And it gives teams an incentive for thinking they can still get promoted. Because look at League 1, League 2, teams down to 7th and that get to the playoffs. So what's the reason for it not being able to happen in National South?
Exactly.
I mean, Braintree, I think they finished 4th or 5th, but they still managed to get promotion, and they had to overcome extra time in all 3 games. So that's the thing. And obviously, look, it does provide a little bit of advantage to those teams in second and third because they miss a game. But if you're Braintree, you played all 3 games and all 3 were away from home, they got promoted. So it shows that it does work. But yeah, do you know what? Like, that's the thing. When you're all battling for one position, it is so tough. And again, I think even maybe, like I say, I think in the National League as well, and National North and South, 2 up maybe to go up, and then 4 to come down potentially. I don't obviously have the logistics at work, but I think it needs to be two automatics personally, because I just think it's so harsh on 24 teams, and they're thinking only 2 of those can go up.
It really is.
Thinking you think out of one of Worthing, Bournemouth, or Dawkins not going up this year, you think like that. That's the thing I'm looking at. There's going to be some big clubs that are going to be very disappointed at the end of the season, and we could well be one of them. And that's the thing. It's a case of let's make sure that's not us, and that'll be the motivation for our players. But again, that'll be the motivation for everyone in that top 7, or even the ones
100%.
Slightly below, who're thinking it could be their year. So yeah, it's I love non-league, and this is why you have got to love it too, because you're in football to for this competition. This is why you look forward to games every weekend. And if you're in this run, then of course you 100% you want to be a part of it. So let's hope that we're still in there in these in a couple of weeks' time, still in contention.
No, honestly, just looking at it all and following it, and even that table, I know we've mentioned it, but it's just crazy how close it is. Absolutely crazy.
Like it. Just never known a league like it.
I know. Chris has put National League North and South can be real crazy leagues, 100%. Green Acres has put it's a bit like Wrexham, Stockport and Chesterfield from the National League a couple of years ago. One had to miss out, and I think this was for me because Graham put they've been way below par, as in Weymouth, and I went like that. So I think that was aimed at me. But the National League South table, we have new leaders at the moment. Worthing are top of the table on 55 points. Boreham Wood are second on 52 points. Dorking Wanderers are third on 52 points. Maidstone United are fourth on 52 points. Torquay United are fifth on 52 points. Eastbourne are sixth on 52 points. And Truro City are seventh on 49 points. And then in the relegation zone, no change. We have St Albans City, who are 21st on 21 points. Averley are 22nd on 20 points. Enfield Town are 23rd on 20 points. And Weymouth are bottom of National League South on 16 points. Chris has added as well, goal difference can make that difference.
That's why I'm glad we've actually got a half-decent goal difference at the moment.
We will move on now. We are on National League North, and a standout for me on there. I mean, Radcliffe beating Hereford 3-2 has got to be one of my results of the week. Our good friend Jordan Hume scored as well. I'm classing him as a good friend because he was in the same category as us at the Football Content Awards.
He's our friend.
Obviously he's our friends. We're friends with everyone. But I mean, what a result for them. And I saw on obviously the socials, the manager posting that he thought it was like the result of the season so far. And it's just brilliant, isn't it? Hereford, I feel like a bit inconsistent at the minute. But yeah, Radcliffe, that was honestly a really, really good result. And that is my result of the weekend anyway. Ben, have you got a result of the weekend or anything you want to talk about on here?
I would agree on that as well, too. I'm pretty sure that Radcliffe put it down a tweet saying it's probably the most famous result in their history, know, which, that's obviously a big statement. Because, look, Hereford are a big, ex-league club, aren't they? So I don't blame them for saying that. And, again, that's, giving them a right good chance now in the bottom four because they've got 3 games in hand over Warrington Town as I've got the table in front of me. And, you win at least one of them or even get, a couple of draws. Suddenly you're out of it. And they've really given themselves a fighting chance after a really difficult start to the season. And do you know what, though? It's funny because all the bottom 4 teams, I'm pretty sure two of them were like, the Rushells and the Needhams. We were saying, they're probably gone. But look at Needham, pick up a massive result out Alfrington, getting a mid-table, big away result away from home. They're only 3 points off now of getting out the bottom 4. And they have a game in hand over Warrington. Again, we're talking about the top of the National League South and that how tight it is. That bottom half of the table in National North probably just as exciting because there's so many teams that could get pulled into that. And you've got obviously Farsley Celtic, obviously with the off the issues, off the pitch issues they've got. Whether that's probably going to have some effect on them, as they maybe start to slow down. But again, they got probably a much needed point against Warrington, a clean sheet as well for them. So they'll be thinking, look. It sort of stops the rut because they've been obviously in bad form recently, and obviously it can't be helped, it can't help obviously with what's been going on off the pitch there. But yeah, if they can stay in this league, what's been going on there, I think it'd be classed as a miracle for that football club. So I hope they do it, obviously, for their fans' sake. They've had a difficult season. We've not really going to watch games, and nothing would please me more if they were to stay up in that division. But yeah, apart from that, it's not really any big standouts, to be honest, in those. I think they're pretty standard, but again, another big result for Rushall as well against Leamington.
Yeah, Rushall.
They don't know where they're picking up from because they were like, I think 11 points probably not, probably about 5-6 weeks ago, and now suddenly, they're level on points with getting out of the bottom 4. So this league is just, this is the thing. It's like further you go down the period, it seems to get more exciting the further you go down the period. Don't forget your Premier League, forget your championships and all that.
Exactly.
National League North and South is what you want to do at the moment.
Place to be.
Don't know what we don't start to every week.
Oh, honestly, everybody, right, should adopt a National League North and South team and just watch it unfold because it's absolute madness. Honestly, it's so entertaining. Obviously, it's obviously sometimes it's for you, Ben. Sometimes it's nerve-wracking too, I can imagine.
And we know Jen's got her National North team in Southport, so at least we've got that one thing in at least in common with all this this podcast.
Yeah.
And then you got Needham Market for old Dan. We know, and this is the thing. The one who's not on, and we can't have him celebrating a Needham win.
I know.
Thinking of you, man.
Luke thought as well. Needham Market with a last-minute winner against Alfreton to win the game and seal a massive win. Scenes. I bet that was absolute carnage. Needham were 2-1 down going into injury time to only score 2 goals to win. Johnny has put as well. Peterborough Sports winning. Is it a shock?
Beating Kings Lynn. Yeah, I think when you take into the context about Kings Lynn being in the playoffs, I think they would have done. I mean, maybe if it was away from home, it probably would have been a bigger shock. But Peterborough, to be fair, they were probably down towards actually. They were flirting with the bottom, I'm pretty sure, at one point. So the fact now they've given themselves a bit of a lift now, and actually they're only, I think, 7 points off the playoffs, so they might well, maybe have a late stint of going for it. But yeah, I think that's probably maybe one of the underrated results certainly of the day. I would say, I think no one probably would have saw that one coming against good Kings Lynn side.
Definitely. In the chat as well, we've got Sam, the EFL man, as I like to call him. Our good friend Sam. Bless him. He always makes an effort, doesn't he, to come in and see us. Love Sam. We've got Richard. He's put, evening, guys. Hope you're okay, Richard. Couple in the chat as well. We have got Chris. We will talk about this one. So, Brackley Town 4, Spennymoor Town 1. Brackley away. Brackley is a place where the Moors don't do well at all. We've won 2, drawn 6, and lost 10. So, yeah, Spennymoor were 2-0 down after the 17th minute, and then it was 3-0 on the 39th minute. And then he also put subs at half-time, and Spennymoor pulled a goal back on the 78th minute thanks to Rob Ramshaw, but it was 4-1 on the 83rd minute. It was a long ride home after that. Not good, not good. We always talk about...
I'm pretty sure it's a long way home for them after most away games, isn't it, for Spennymoor?
I was going to say, isn't it, like, pretty much all of them?
It's like Carlisle coming all the way down, like down to even just, Manchester. That's long enough for them.
Exactly, but honestly, it's like in that league, I bet their closest games, Carlisle's, are actually like, obviously, Barrow aside, is like your Morecambes and things, aren't they? Your Bradfords, your Accringtons, even though it's quite a while away still, they're the closest ones.
I'm pretty sure they always said that their closest game, I don't know if this was a few years ago or not, was about 100 miles away. And I'm thinking, oh God, geez, this is why I have massive respect for Carlisle fans and that make their trips down, and they don't really have anyone to have a proper rivalry with at this point. I guess apart from Barrow, I guess, but even then they're still quite far away from them. So yeah, I do feel for those Carlisle fans a little bit.
We are saying that though, but you just think this league now, Oxford City. Imagine being Oxford City.
I know. I feel for them. That's what happens when you're like mid of the country.
I know. Any more standouts for anyone in here? I mean, Scunthorpe won, didn't they? Obviously,
But I think against South Shields, I probably would have expected. I think they probably made it harder than they needed to be, clearly. But I think they're starting to come back into it slightly now. Into that top of the table. But then again, Chester, they're on a roll at the moment now, aren't they?
They are. No one's speaking about them either.
No, they've gone under the radar. They have. I mean, like they were outside playoffs not that long ago, and now suddenly they're top of the table. It's absolutely mad that they've suddenly come about because. It was Curzon Ashton for a while. Oh, goodness me, there's a lot of away wins on Tuesday, weren't there?
I know. I know.
Nobody likes going to Southport on a cold Tuesday night, now, do they?
I know. I know Southport, Jen. What's that?
I don't know.
I know.
Just feel like all the teams are bad at the minute. It's what it is.
Chris has put as well, I tipped Chester to win the league. Look at him now. All right. Okay, calm down. I sounded so mank then, didn't I? All right, calm down.
Calm down, love.
We do have Chris's. I didn't think I could sound more northern as I just did. Southport away. Glenn Taylor kept up his love of scoring against Southport when he scored his 198th goal on the 37th minute. But the second half, Spennymoor scored 3 goals. 2 of them were goal of the season contenders. Matty Dolan scored a wonderful free kick. But the best goal of the night came from Junior Mundell, who scored from 35 yards out. What a goal. Loney, Aidan Routledge sealed off the 4-1 win. Very good win for Spennymoor. Obviously, I'm reading it again. Obviously, considering they did lose at the weekend. So, very, very good win for them. Johnny... He's like in Rushall Olympic at the minute. He said he's getting a shirt as well in the next few weeks. So he's adopted a team and he's put at least Rushall Olympic kept a clean sheet. We've got Luke singing about Aidan Routledge. And then we have Graham. He's put, I've seen people standing at the North Pole and been less northern than you, Shah. It's why we love you both. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just very common, aren't I? I'm not as well spoken as some. 2-4-1 score lines. I know. It must be interesting games. I know. obviously, just looking at a couple more of the results. Curzon and Ashton, really big win for them, but obviously Oxford City.
Yeah. Poor Uncle Nick.
I know.
His adopted team and that. What a letdown for them. But you know what? Actually, I didn't even realise the fact, because obviously we're talking about Chester in top of the league. I didn't realise that Curzon and Ashton actually still have 3 games in hand over them.
Yeah.
And they win 2 of them above them. So, yeah, it's still the last thing. It could still all change. Look, even Kidderminster Harriers, they've still got a couple of games in hand. So it's very open. Look at even Brackley. Brackley have given themselves a shout again. They were absolutely nowhere that long ago. And then suddenly a couple of wins with them, and they're suddenly in that mix. So, again, I think before you know it, we could be looking at a similar thing to the National League South if teams take advantage of these games in hand, because you think there could be at least 5 teams involved in it at this stage, which is very rare, because normally in the National North, it's only like 2 sides, maybe 3 sides that are pushed.
I remember you saying that, yeah.
It always is, because
conversation.
Well, that's the thing, because I always remember when Salford won the National North, because obviously it was well documented on the documentary, but it was just between them and Harrogate all season it was. And, a bit like, I think last year, the fact, was it Scum Football always up there? And, it's always been 2. I remember National South, we've had, Maidenhead and Ebbsfleet, they were both competing like all season for the title. Like, it always only is 2 or 3 teams. But then this year, everyone just seems to want to come to life, and everyone's got their own reason that they want to win the league. So it's, it's good. It's great for the, for the National League as a whole, really, because, don't get me wrong, I still think it's one of the most entertaining leagues in, in English football, because the amount of drama it brings. And that's why I miss a little bit, the TNT coverage that they used to provide, because the Zone's not quite the same for me. I haven't really watched too much of it, but obviously it's not quite the same. But TNT, the way they covered it, even obviously in that season, obviously I know it was going to get a lot of coverage with Wrexham and Notts County, but even that season, like the title race was not something we'd never seen before. And to be a part of it was, was so, it was nice, because, in fact, you could say, we were in that league that they were involved in. So, I think this could very much turn into the National South very quickly in that title race, if just teams take advantage of their games in hand. But who's going to do it in the cold Tuesday night in Brackley? That's what I want to find out.
Do you know what I've noticed as well? We all, every time we all adopt a team, they do absolutely awful, don't they?
Yeah.
We start going downhill. So I think we need to stop or pick teams that we don't like, who are our rivals.
Yeah.
So from now on, my adopted teams are Worthing and Oldham, because we have them the next few games.
At least you didn't pick us. I'm glad you didn't pick us.
Oh, no, not a chance. No. Not a chance.
Can you not pick Dorking? Dorking?
Well, to be fair, I do kind of pick Dorking, don't I, because of Mark White.
So he's not letting you down though at the moment, is it? Must be the cat.
I know. Maybe he's under pressure because of his podcast. Maybe he's like, oh no, we've got to win because we keep like putting pressure on him.
Otherwise, Charles going to leave you a nasty voice note, Mark. Gosh, be careful.
Why'd you lose that game?
I'll turn into him. Oh, funny. Chris has put, if Spennymoor can go on a winning run, currently 7 points behind Chorley, need those wins, and we still have somewhat of a chance of getting playoffs. And I'm pretty sure Manchester United are winning. It's come through on my phone, and it is Dallow. Dallow scored, so we'll have a very happy Sam. Okay. Don't know if he is in the chat, but at least he'll be happy. And Lucas, but this league was pretty easy for us in the end. All right, Luke. Simmer down, chap. I'm only joking. So, National League North. Top of National League North, we have Chester on 55 points. Scunthorpe United are second on 54 points. Kidderminster Harriers are third on 50 points. Curzon and Ashton are fourth on 49 points. Brackley Town have come up from nowhere, as we did mention. They are fifth on 49 points. King's Lynn Town are sixth on 49 points. And Chorley are seventh on 45 points. And then in the relegation zone, we have Radcliffe, who are 21st on 25 points. Rushall Olympic are 22nd on 25 points. Marine are 23rd on 22 points. And Needham Market, Ant's adopted team. So we're going to blame Ant. They are bottom of National League North on 22 points. Chris has put trophy for us this weekend. Snow League for us, Oxford and Kidderminster. we will see what happens, and we will be covering that. Remember, everybody, if you are still in the FA Trophy, we will be covering that on next week's
FA
show.
Trophy. I wouldn't know we went up first round.
I'm not saying anything because, like I said, we've got a very tough game, so I'm a humble fan. I'm not saying anything.
You go to Wembley, Shah. I'll come Wembley. I'll come Wembley with you.
Yeah, come with us.
Yeah, it's a little trip.
Little day out.
Obviously, I'm not saying we will get to Wembley, everyone. I'm not being one of them fans who thinks they are. But if there is a chance we get to Wembley, podcast day out. Come with us, everyone in the chat. Feel free. The more the merrier. And it'll be at Wembley, so it won't get called off.
It's not about
Final day as well, isn't it? FA Bars as well beforehand. If we're that desperate.
I will go to Luke. So he has put about the Oldham game before we talk about the other games. He has put Oldham at home. Wasn't a great watch or performance of the game overall, but all right result at the end of the day. Needs to be improvements. At least we have a 2-week break to try and sort us out. Yeah, to be fair though, I mention it a lot on this podcast, but I do really feel for Gateshead because I feel like, and I mentioned it, I was on a podcast over the weekend, a National League podcast, and I mentioned it on there. I feel like with Gateshead, because they have such like good up and coming talents, whether it be managerial side of it or whether it be players, because they're so good and they've got a really, really good structure, they're constantly getting poached, aren't they? And going to EFL clubs, which is obviously good, like money-wise for Gateshead. But the fact of them obviously wanting to progress and wanting to keep them players for progression, it must be so hard for Luke. And it'd be so hard for him. Imagine getting attached to a player and really liking a player, and then in the next week you're leaving. It must be really, really hard. I mean, for any of us really, but especially for Gateshead, because I feel like they're targets all the time. And it is a good thing, as I've mentioned, because they have got such a good structure in place and they are playing very, very good football. But yeah, let us know how you feel, Luke. It must be really tough.
Sat in the corner, walking back and forth.
No.
I feel for them though with Crawley though, because they keep nicking all their players and that, and yet they took Papadopoulos back off us and they don't even play him. You think, what's going on here? So I get you now. Yeah, Crawley are not in my good books as well at the moment either, Luke. So don't worry about that.
Honestly, I feel like it's the same for a lot of clubs. I know, Johnny, come on, we're not on it yet. We're not on League One yet. But I will be talking about him. Oh, poor little Kian. Richard has thought it's amazing to see Oldham in the National League. I remember him being in the Premier League in 1992. I know, just on Oldham as well. I don't know what to expect with them at the minute. I feel like they're quite inconsistent, Oldham. I know they have made a lot of new signings in this window. Obviously, they didn't get Josh Stones, who they did want. He went to York, which I will speak about when we are on York. But I feel like at the minute with Oldham, their fans aren't very happy. I don't know. I think it's with the style of football they play. I think it's quite negative at the minute. I think one player they are getting really frustrated with as well is Norwood. I don't know if he's injured or just not being picked for the team at the minute, but I feel like Oldham fans are getting very frustrated with him. And yeah, I see a lot of them on my timeline on Twitter, and they seem to be struggling a bit at the minute. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it doesn't come back to bite us, because I feel like with Oldham, they tend to go through a patch and then we'll play them and then something bad will happen. So I'm hoping that's not the case. But yeah, I'm struggling really where to put Oldham at the minute, because a few weeks ago, I was on here and I was like, I think they're going to be contenders. I think if they've got that experience in Mickey Mellon, they've got the players as well. But a few weeks later and what's unfolding, I'm not really sure what to say about them. They kind of confuse me at the minute, Oldham. On a Gateshead point of view, though, Lucas put, we are our own victims of our own success at the end of the day. Have to sell players to keep the club stable financially. The amount of amazing players we've had and we have lost is just painful. I completely agree. I want to get on this as well. So the standout result is Boston beating York. And they've actually done a double over in this season as well, Boston.
Wow.
Yeah, they've done a double over them, and it was a result what I really was not expecting. And played very, very well, Boston. From a York City point of view as well, I don't know what's going on with them at the minute. I had a conversation with someone who obviously supports York, and I was a bit baffled by the whole Josh Stone's signing at the minute, because I feel like it's a very good signing, but they have put themselves under a hell of a lot of pressure with the price tag they have paid for him. And it's one of them signings where it's a very good signing, but where's he going to fit? Because Ollie Pearce, and I really, really, really rate Ollie Pearce. I think he's a fantastic player, but he can't play. He was obviously thriving and has been this season, but he's struggling to play in a forward two with Josh Stones. So they are playing Josh Stones now further forward. And I think they're moving Ollie Pearson out. And it's not really fitting the system well. And they're kind of having a blip doing that. So I just feel like, why upset the apple cart and why upset like the system and the formation you have been playing by putting your star signing in there who you've spent money on when you were already doing so well with Ollie Pearce in that position. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, Ben, but I just think it's a little bit silly. But then at the same time, I feel like because they have spent so much money on Josh Stones, do they feel under pressure to kind of play him?
They probably do, yeah, because you think if you pay that much money for him, then, you think you've got to try and put him in somewhere. I always remember, obviously it's going a bit back to, Chelsea when they bought in Fernando Torres and they tried to play him alongside Drogba, and you think it just didn't work. Yeah. But because of the price tag he was under, they probably felt obliged they need to play him to almost make a statement a little bit. Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know if it's one of those where you think maybe Stone should be one of those to come off maybe the bench for the last 20, 25 minutes. They need a goal, to try and change it if it's not going their way. I know it's easier said than done because obviously you're paying that much money. He can score a lot of goals. Yeah, of but at the same time, you can't, if it's not broke, don't fix it. York are in a fantastic position at the moment. And that's it. It is a big gamble because obviously it pays off. I know, to be fair to them, the result against Boston, I did watch the highlights from that, and York did miss some really easy chances for them, particularly Pearce as well. Although be a couple of really good saves from the goalkeeper. But I just feel like that's a big gamble at this stage of the season when they had 100%. Every chance. I mean, don't get me wrong, even if they win the games in hand, they're still right in there because they go up on goal difference properly. So it is a hard one, but I would say, I'm one of those that say, look, whatever's working, you don't change it. You can bring people into Strengthford, of course you can, because I think they need to bring strength. And at this stage of the season, everyone's trying to fight for the best players, particularly if you're trying to get a couple from the Football League or something to give your side the best chance of going up from this division. But at the same time, you don't need to put him in straight away. If Pearce gets an injury or something like that, then you think, okay, we've got Stones down. He can play. That's the thing, because Pearce is, he does pick up the injury every so often. So, that's the thing. I just don't feel that maybe playing the two of them up top at this stage probably works in their favour. Maybe if you get a couple of results where it's not quite going your way, change it around slightly. But whilst you're winning games, don't change the system. There's no need to. If I say so myself.
Definitely. Just on that as well, I don't know if you saw, but somebody who I'm familiar with, Tyree Sinclair, obviously getting on the score sheet, he scored a goal for York, and what a really good finish it was. He's one of them players as well. He can create them moments of magic. And I just think with them doing so well and the way they've been playing already, I just feel like it's a massive, massive gamble changing it all. And don't get me wrong, it can work out in your favour, especially in some games. And as you said, with injuries, with suspensions, and if you do want to go up in the Football League, you're kind of building on that. But I just think they need to be really careful because they were doing really, really well. And I know each team does have a blip throughout the season. It's understandable. But I just feel like they need to kind of look back of what they've been doing and maybe not upset the team that have been kind of gelling and playing well together all season.
It's adding pressure on the whole team as well, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's one player and it puts the price tag on, but it adds pressure to the team thinking, oh, right, this is the sort of money they're paying. They're expecting us to go for it now. And, that's the thing. And that puts the manager under huge pressure as well. And, Adam Hinch was come from a very, very different background. And obviously, Worthing, we're a side that, he only won the Isthmian League with them a few years ago. And he's now, with a really big club in York, they're trying to get out of the National League and get back to where they feel they should belong. And that is in the Football League for me. They are a Football League club, in my opinion. I think he's putting himself under huge pressure with that. But again, look, like if he wasn't confident in his own ability, he wouldn't have brought him in, and particularly paying for that money. But again, they've put themselves under huge pressure now to win that league or get playoffs. Not playoffs, sorry, second or third, because if they don't go up, everyone's going to point fingers straight away. Like you say, everyone else have a blip, but it comes at a cost of changing the system when they don't need to. It's going to be very easy to point fingers, isn't it?
Completely agree. Here we have got Luke. He's put the title for us isn't for us at this stage. I'm more focused on securing a place in the playoffs and trying to hunt down third place if we can. I'll just quickly go through some of the standouts for me. Obviously, the result at the top, I think it was a 6-pointer for both teams because both teams are struggling at the minute. Wealdstone obviously lost their manager, didn't they? AFC Fylde came triumphant on that, beating them 2-0. They've been really, really struggling, Fylde, haven't they? Really struggling as of late. One team I did want to mention as well, Barnet, obviously at the top. They are top as well. I think, is it Glover? Is it Ryan Glover is called, who plays for Barnet? I cannot remember exactly. I think it is Ryan, isn't it? It's definitely Glover anyway. What a really good player he's been for them this season. Really, really good player. Just wanted to give him a mention. A very good win, obviously, for Southend away at Dagenham. They seem to be picking up the points. And I did see it was someone who's very involved with Southend. He's quite in the know. They announced today, we don't know exactly who it is, but Kevin Mayer is after, I think, a couple more signings to add to obviously his team. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they are on the up again. Braintree obviously beating Ebbsfleet. And do you know what? I didn't realise, and we'll have a look at it after, the goal difference for Ebbsfleet and the goals they've conceded at the bottom, obviously, this season. I thought I made a typo. I was like, what? We'll have a quick look at that after.
Funny thing is, they've actually been better defensively in the last few years. They haven't been conceding many goals. That's the thing. I think you'd asked me about a month ago, I would have said, my God, how have you conceded that many goals after about 23 games? But now suddenly they've actually been a bit more assured about it. But the problem is they can't score goals again. So that's been the big problem for them. But that's a big win for Braintree as well, actually, because they just seem to they're just keeping them slightly away from it. I think they're 5 points clear now off the bottom. So and even then, I think I saw the reaction for their players after the final whistle went, and they almost like they've won the league a little bit because they know, even though where FC are, they're going to get relegated. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But that's a big result for them. They know it because it's easy to drop points in games like that, as you well know, Shah. So, if I triggered bad memories again, sorry.
No, you're not. I'm more concerned about my pie. Remember, I don't care about Ebbsfleet now. Well, until we play them again in a couple of weeks.
But I would have said though, one of the standout results of that Saturday was the 4-0 win for them. For you against Yeovil, because I think when you haven't played that many games, it's easy to become a bit rusty in that. And, Yeovil have hit a very bad form recently because they were off the playoffs not that long ago. And now suddenly they've slipped into the bottom half. But that's a big result. And 4 goals and a clean sheet, you can't complain about that, especially at home. So, that's a big result if they want to stay in the playoffs. That's the thing, because obviously with the amount of games you've had called off recently, everyone's still talking about Rochdale at the moment. So that's probably works in your favour a little bit because no one's thinking about Rochdale because of how many games you've still got to play. They're probably thinking, they'll eventually slip away. So, what an opportunity now to try and prove everyone wrong so that you're good enough to stay in that top 7.
100%. It were a really good performance as well. It was a very patient performance. We started off really well. We ran the game. We had a few chances early on into the first half, and then just before half-time, Yeovil did get back into it. Our keeper, Sam Waller, who's on loan from Burnley, he made a couple of good saves. And then half-time, I think we just had the speech off Jim, came out, and it was a very, very dominant performance. Obviously, scored 4 goals. As Jim McNulty quoted as well, it's always a very, very good day when all 3 of you forwards score. Devante Rodney, obviously scoring. Cairo Mitchell got a penalty as well. He scored. And then one player who I really want to talk about, Leon Ayinde, who we have on loan from Ipswich, is somebody who I've spoke about a couple of times on here, and I've said he looks very, very good. But then, unfortunately, he did pick up an injury, and it was out for, I think it was a month or so. And then he's come back, and he looks brilliant. And a lot of our fans said the same as me, and you can see glimpses in him as what we saw in Kean Hayes last season. He's a very exciting, very quick pace player, very young as well, fresh. It was just like another fresh set of legs, because even though we did have him, obviously beforehand, since his injury, it just looks completely different. He looks very sharp. He scored a goal. He actually played on Tuesday as well in the FA Trophy. I know we don't really like talking about the not FA Trophy, sorry, in the National League Cup, the National League Cup games, and he actually did score in that game, and he looked really good there. He's getting minutes for us now, but yeah, it was a really good performance. And Jake Berger came off the bench, and he scored his actual first goal of the season. But as much as I'm going to come on here and I'm going to say, oh yeah, 4 goals, brilliant from our strikers, 3 people who I don't think get enough credit in our team and who have been absolutely solid when we have played games. I don't really want to say the last few weeks, because obviously we've had postponements, but you know what I mean. The last few games are Liam Hogan, who we did get and we signed from Oldham. He's a centre-back. Obviously Scott Hogan, the striker's brother. Kyron Gordon, who is a defender as well, another centre-back, who has stepped up this season, and he is our club captain because Ebanks Landell is injured and has been out for so long. And Sam Beckwith, who's our 3rd centre-back. So we do play with a back 3. And I didn't realise this until I saw the stat, but I think they've only conceded, is it 21 goals in the league so far? And it's so good to have. And I don't want to big them up too much, because obviously we mentioned the Worthing situation, haven't we, and how they score goals. So I don't want to butter them up too much. But I just wanted to come on and kind of give them credit, because I know when you do come with a 4-0 win, you kind of think, oh yeah, the strikers, they've scored, blah, blah, blah. But they've really, really, really worked hard our defence. And this is one of the seasons where I can happily sit here and say, I think we do have a solid defence. We've got substitutions as well who can fit in if we did pick up an injury. The goalkeeper, Sam Waller, as well. If I were Dale, is a young lad. Obviously, we've got him on loan. If I were Dale, I would try and spend money on securing him, because he's a very, very, very good goalkeeper. Someone who you can trust. He can kind of play the football that we play as well. Looks very comfortable in the net. But I feel like if we can keep this defence together, and then obviously we've got our wing backs as well, in Toby Adebayo rolling, or it was Jid Okeke as well, who we have on loan from Stockport. And then we've got the swap between Tarin Alarakia and Jillaby Abu. We really do have a very good core team. And not just that, we've got a lot of squad depth now. So if we can pick up a bit of momentum, I'd like to see how far we could go, because I think we definitely have the squad to prove and to go on to the playoffs. But the only worry for me is obviously our pitch, because not only is it getting to the point now where we're having so many postponements, but the club are maybe looking into, if we can't get it sorted, maybe having to play in other venues and other places. And that's one thing that kind of worries me, because as much as it's good to play games, you kind of used to go into your home games, you're used to playing in front of your home fans, and it's kind of your home and stuff. So I just feel like if we were to play somewhere else, would it essentially feel like, would it be different? Would we be able to still carry on that momentum and things like that? And that's just one thing that is really, really worrying me at the minute. But yeah, can't complain. 4-0 win. I was hoping to go to the game against Boston. I bet a lot of people in the chat, as well as you guys, have seen the kind of backlash from the Boston fans, which is rightly so, to be fair. I'd be so annoyed. I'm not going to go into it too much. A club did come out and put a big, very long, lengthy statement with questions what were asked, and fully answered every question as well. I think we have said that we will pay for the transport when they do come up to Scotland as well, as kind of a gesture and as a sorry for obviously what happened. The club did say that the pitch was absolutely fine all day, and then I think it was towards nearly time for kickoff, then I think the referee said on one side, and it's the dreaded side, every single game, but obviously it just wasn't fit to play. So it's one of them things. It's very frustrating, and I'm not going to sit here and say it's not frustrating. I was one of the first to call out the club and say how unfair it was on the Boston fans. They got there and stuff. So hopefully we can get it sorted. I know there's a lot of people saying the same thing as well in the chat. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say on Dale. All I'm going to say. One result I did want to point out as well is obviously Halifax, because they are in a similar situation to us in regards to the pitch, and obviously momentum. It is a hard thing to kind of do, especially when you're having postponements left, right and centre. But what a win, obviously, for Halifax. I know Solihull did lose a manager, didn't he? He did go to it's Barrow, isn't it? He's gone to Barrow.
Yeah. And
am I right in saying Matt Taylor from Wilston has gone to Solihull Moors? Yes.
Yep. That's it.
Well, I've been spending my days where I don't go to Dale games, finding out all this information.
I'd be driving myself crazy as well, actually, if I wasn't doing that either.
Know, honestly. That's why I've gone to TikTok. If anybody has seen recently, I've been doing a lot of TikToks. It's because I'm so bored. I'm so bored. I do my graphics.
Sort of pitch out, it looks like.
It's like I did my graphics early as well. I watched Champions League. I've done everything. I just wanted a pie from Dale.
Just a pie, that's it.
Just a pie and gravy. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
That's a woman to do.
I know. Like, football would be good, but just get me my pie instead, and I'm a happy girl. I'm easily pleased. Graham said, your TikToks have me in stitches this week. Yes, I did want to say this. I couldn't remember his name, so thank you, Chris. Neil Gibson is now the manager of Wealdstone. I couldn't remember his name. That's why I didn't mention it. I thought I'd come out with something completely random. But two other National League results. So Barnet did beat Hartlepool 2-0, and Southend United beat AFC Fylde 2-0 as well. So the table. I mean, we did mention it before, but Ebbsfleet, bless them, minus 44.
That was so mad.
Just having a quick drink.
Welcome back to the National League South, Ebbsfleet. We have missed you.
Imagine being their fan though. Like, how do you support that?
Do you know what? If we end up losing a game, my Sunday treat is reading the Ebbsfleet forum. It's absolutely brilliant.
Oh God, I bet it's horrible in there.
Oh, it's toxic. I think after the amount of stick they gave us after we were in that league, we messed up. I'm just hoping that if they can get less than 25 points, then I'm happy, man, because that means they did that worse than us. And I didn't think that was going to be possible, but they've got a good chance now.
Johnny's just asked a question. Sorry, Luke McNicholas is still injured. I didn't see anything about him going back completely to Wrexham, so I don't know if we've just not announced it or if he'll be coming back after his injury. I'm not too sure, but we do have Sam Waller on loan from Burnley until the end of the season now. So Claire is in. Hello, Claire. Hope you're okay. Yeah. I can't remember the exact number, but was it about?
I think it was 9.
Was it 9? I knew 9 or 10. Yeah. That's playable to them fans. I mean, dedication.
It's a long way. It's a long way.
Very long way. Very long.
5-6 hours probably to get there.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah, fair play to them.
Yeah, it was 9. My lucky number. I love number 9. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair play. But the National League table, so top of the National League, we have Barnet on 60 points. Forest Green Rovers are second on 56 points. York City are third on 54 points. Gateshead, as Luke pointed out, are fourth on 49 points. Oldham Athletic are fifth on 45 points. Then Rochdale, with all them games in hand, are 6th on 42 points. Altrincham are 7th on 42 points. And then in the relegation zone, Wealdstone are 21st on 25 points. AFC Fylde are 22nd on 25 points. Boston United are 23rd on 19 points. And bottom of the National League are Ebbsfleet United on 12 points. League 2, Jen, do you want to talk Morecambe?
No.
Right, League 1, let's move on.
Let's go straight to the Championship. I don't know what to say at this point.
A bit about the situation?
Yeah, so obviously I was not on last Thursday, and it came out last week that we had been not technically put on a transfer embargo, but put under a transfer embargo because our owner is still not selling the club, and he had to prove to the EFL that he could afford to pay the staff, the players, everyone involved, and be able to fund the club until the end of the season, which he has now proved. Now, no one knows where this money's come from. No one knows what dodgy dealings are going on behind the scenes, because there's definitely dodgy dealings going on. Like, somewhere, something's going dodgy. Like, I don't know where he's got this magic money from, because he must be growing trees in his back garden. Because if he can't sell the club, where's his money coming from? Like, we have got money from the Chelsea game, which is a lot of money, which we can now obviously use for players.
Yeah.
But I think what happened last week, the fans have physically had enough now. It should not. He came out and said we would have a January transfer budget. He said to Derek, you will have a January transfer budget. Gets to it, and suddenly Derek can't sign players. And I feel so bad for Derek. I would not, if he wanted to walk away now, hold your hands up, go, run away as fast as you can. But he has said, since this transfer embargo, I'm sticking. It's a battle. We're going to get through it together. And I just think if Derek, by some miracle, some absolute miracle, gets us to stay in this league, I think he needs a statue outside the ground, because that man has been put through hell and back with his club. And the fact that he's come back 3 times just says it all about how much he actually loves the club and cares for the club, cares for the fans, cares for the players. It's a very family club. And when I obviously did his interview once the transfer embargo went and it was out and everyone knew about it, the way he sat there and talked about that club and talked about how much he loves the fans, and it's not fair for the fans to be in the situation, which it isn't. Like, we don't want to be in the situation now where we're looking at the bottom of the table and we are looking like, where are we getting these points to stay up? Because it's got to that point now. It's not nice as a fan, but now we have the money and we can touch the money. I think Derek's going to be on that phone to plenty of players. I just think the worst I feel for is Dallas, who was with us the week before, sent the papers to the EFL. He was there on the Friday. He was out there on the pitch on Saturday training. Everyone knew who he was. And it was the waiting game to see if he would sign. Then obviously the embargo came. He couldn't sign for us. So he has to go back to Barnsley. And I feel so bad for him, because obviously all he wanted to do was play football. And he's come to this club. He's put his boots on the shelf. He's ready to go out and play. And then Derek's had to tell him, sorry, mate, I can't sign you because we're under an embargo. Like, how as a manager do you sit there and be like, sorry, mate, I can't sign you because I just don't have the funds. And I just think it's horrible for Derek. It's a horrible situation for him to be in, to have to tell these people that, look, I want to sign you, but I can't sign you because we don't have the funds. And I just think Derek is just an incredible man. And if he, by some miracle, keeps us up, I just think he's such a special man to still be at this club, because he is only on a month-to-month contract. He's not on a yearly contract. So he could easily walk away from this club if he wanted to. And I won't blame him one bit. No, I don't think any fan would blame him one bit if he walked away. But the fact he's still here and still caring about this club is just shows how incredible he is and how much he actually loves this club. Yeah. Because he is such a special man. And if he keeps us up, I don't know what's going to happen, but there's definitely going to be a party in Morecambe.
We're coming. Me and Ben are coming too.
Yeah, I'll drive from mate, so why not? Nice little trip to Morecambe. But has it all been sorted out for Dallas? Is he actually joined now, is he? Or is it still in talking?
It's still in limbo at the minute. We don't know. There's a lot of rumours flying around that it's between us and Carlisle of who's going to sign him. Wow. I'm hoping we can beat them, because obviously he's been in and around the club. He's seen the players, seen the staff. Yeah. I'm hoping by some miracle Derek's like, I've got the papers to sign him and we'll send it. And hopefully he'll get approved, like, if we do sign him before the weekend, because obviously what happened in Colchester, our only striker that got injured came back, got a straight red card. So we have no striker.
Is that the one that you've appealed?
Yeah, so he appealed.
But I'm sorry, that was not a red card.
Yeah, and then that red card was the most ridiculous red card I've ever seen.
That was not a red card.
And obviously Derek got very mad, very, very mad. And obviously he was not on pitch side on Tuesday because of that, because he has now had 5 yellows. But I don't blame him one bit, because that Lee Angle red card was the most ridiculous red card I've ever seen. I thought when it came out and the appeal date, I was like, that's fine, he'll be back. And he didn't. We wasted £500 on that appeal, because I just don't know how they see that that was a high fault to me. I've watched it countless times and it just not seemed like a high fault.
His eyes are completely on the ball at all times as well. Like, he's got no intent whatsoever. His eyes are completely, and you can see it. And honestly, it baffled me. But then, and I feel like when you are at the bottom, nothing ever goes in your favour, does it? When you're at the bottom, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah, I just feel like this season, like, the refs are just against us, because then again on Tuesday night we got a yellow that wasn't a yellow, and it's just like, at this point, it's just like, what's the point of even trying? Because you can't do anything right. The players can't tackle because they're afraid of getting a yellow card or a red card, because you don't know what the ref's going to be like. And I feel like it's not just a League Two thing, it's a whole ref situation from the top to the bottom. They are just horrific at the minute. I was watching on Tuesday night, and there was countless yellow cards that Bradford should have got, and they got none. And then as soon as Daka's made a little mistake, which wasn't a yellow card, he whips his yellow card out and gives it to him. It's just like, at this point, it's just like, why are you trying? Like, why are you actually bothering right now?
It's just no consistency, is there at all?
No. I think that's the most annoying part, because we was good enough on Tuesday. We was more than good enough on Tuesday. I thought we could nick a draw from this and it'll be fine. But their goalkeeper did an unreal save. Unreal. And I think if he didn't save that, we could have walked away with a draw. And I think that's the most frustrating thing. Is like the 1-0s that we've had. If we would have even scored just one and got draws out of it, we probably wouldn't be in the relegation zone right now. And that's the most frustrating part about it. These ones that we've lost and could have won is massive. But we're only 6 points away now. It's 2 wins and we're out. And there is other teams in and around us that are bad. And obviously, I don't want to say who I want to go down, but I'd rather survive than us go down. Because I think if we went down to the National League, I I generally don't know what would happen to our club if we got down there. I generally don't know if we survive.
It's a big worry because, like we've said, I think many times in there, clubs struggle to come back from relegation from the Football League. Yeah. Look how many years it took Stockport to get back into the Football League, albeit now they're in a very good place now. But that took a lot of hard work, it did. And, it's probably the one relegation you don't want. That's the thing, as any club, is to go out the Football League. And, it's those two positions are the most horrible ones to be in. But do you know, I think if you do get Dallas, though, I think that might give you a fighting chance, because I always remember watching it at Solihull Moors, and he was one of the best players in that division for me by far. Scored a lot of goals, very good with the ball. He's always, he's very positive with his runs as well, actually. So I think if you got him, I think that'd be a massive bonus. I mean, even the fact that he's willing to come as well into that situation, shows a lot about him. But I know obviously he just wants to play football, and he won't be under that same pressure, I guess, that a lot of the Morgan players are under the moment. I guess not from, a fan's perspective, but the fact is they don't want to go down. They'll obviously want to stay up. But having someone like Dallas, that would give you certainly a fighting chance of staying up for me. Yeah,
I think if we manage to beat Carlisle to signing him, I think it's massive for us, because if we can get him and he can get on that pitch and score, even just score on Saturday, that's it. Like, if he can get on that pitch and score on Saturday and we win that game, there's a fighting chance, and then we're away to Newport on a Tuesday night. Like, I think these next couple of games now, if we manage to sign him, he could generally save our season, generally save it. And I hope by some miracle Derek has got some magic wand that's going to bring him back. But I think from a Dallas point of view, I think he just wants to be playing football, and obviously being in and around the team and being in and around the players, and obviously getting to know them for a week. He's going to be attached to some of them. He's going to be attached to the club because he's seen the fans, and I think hopefully Derek's got a little magic wand and he's able to get him, and we can sign him before the weekend and get him out there.
Fingers crossed.
I really hope you get him as well. I honestly really do, because it's like the player he is and the kind of player he is, but it's that bit of experience, that fresh mindset as well, kind of thing. And I feel like you need that. And I don't want to compare it to the situation with us at all. But when we got Danny Lloyd and you got that new lease of life, it was a new player, a new exciting player, someone, even though we did end up going down in the end, at that point, it was just someone exciting, and he brought so many special moments. And hopefully, fingers crossed, if you do get him, you do get that little bit more, because like you said, you are bottom, but you're only, it's like you said, it's only two wins and you can be back out again. And as you mentioned, there's a lot of teams in and around who are dropping points. It's like your Newports, they've been on a really bad run recently. I know Rebecca's in as well, so I don't really want to go into it, but even you've got Accrington, you've got obviously Carlisle's. Let's have a quick look at the table just to...
Tranmere seem to really be falling down as well.
Tranmere is struggling massively.
And a lot of their fans are angry with their manager.
Harrogate as well.
It's crazy. Like the bottom, I think is probably so close. It can change in an instant. 2 wins and we're out. It's scary how close it is down there now.
I didn't realise how close that was. Sorry, Ben.
I think that's that. I think it's a massive credit the fact that Morecambe even still in this fight at the moment, considering that no one actually would have given them a hope at the start of the season, given the situation with the squad they had. But the fact is, look, 20 points. Like I say, there's only be 2 wins out. With probably these clubs have actually got budgets and actually, ways of staying in this league. I mean, it's in the greatest respect possible to some of these, obviously to Morecambe. Obviously, if they finish above some of these clubs, then it'd be a bit of an embarrassment to them, because Morecambe are actually given no hope at all. They've got no budget, yet they've still got a chance of staying in this division. So that's the thing. I mean, it would be an absolute miracle. And obviously, we're hoping for the miracle that they do pull it off, because, like I said, the relegation could be so damaging to the club. But I think that's the thing. If you've got one man for the job to get him out of that trouble, Derek Adams is certainly the man with proper experience, and he won't feel that pressure, because he knows probably full well that these players are probably already been written off by a lot of people, but we know in-house that we can do it, we can get out of it. And, it is going to take tough, but that's the thing. That key thing is getting that striker. And if you do get Dallas, then I think it gives you that fighting chance of giving some goals. That's the thing. It's just the thing. They just need some goals from somewhere.
That's all we need.
Exactly. A couple of his goals might just keep you up in that division. You just don't know. But I think with that experience, bringing in League One forward, who's played, good National League player as well. I think League Two would be no problem for him. I think he'd thrive, to be fair. So let's hope, like I say, you get it done before the weekend.
Yeah, that'll be good. Then we can get a win, and I think it'll feel all right. But I think if we lose, it might just be, here we go again. But you've got to keep the faith. There's still plenty of games to play. There's teams in and around us that are struggling the same as we are. So I just think from a Morecambe point of view, where you've got no budget, and then you've got Carlisle, who are literally just 1 point above you, who've signed about 29 players in this January transfer window. It just shows how much of an incredible job Derek is doing with the team that he has got, because a lot of the team are National League players, and they are incredible players at that. But I just think he's doing the best he can with what he's been given, and I don't think any other manager could put up with half of what he's put up with at this club.
Yeah, I agree with
that. Fingers crossed, Jen. Fingers crossed. Do you know what as well? I'm really bad at ACCAs. So everyone who you're playing, I'm going to bet on. So then you'll win. I've done it several times. I'll do it. Honestly, you'll get the win. Honestly, I do it every time. It works every time. I might be skint at the end of it, but at least you'll survive.
If you save Morecambe, that's the most important thing, isn't it?
Exactly. I won't be able to come in and buy you because I'll be skint, Jen, but I've saved you. Apart from, obviously, I know we've spoke about Morecambe, Jen, is there anybody you want to speak about or any standout results on here for you?
I'd probably say Swindon. They seem to be really picking up at the minute, and I think it's great for Uncle Nick. I think it's great for everything. They've obviously got their own off-field problems as well, so I think it's good for them to finally be getting the goals and climbing up that table away from the relegation zone. I just feel so happy for Uncle Nick and the club as a whole, because obviously they are in the same situation as we are, and it's nice to see another club with off-field issues being able to win games and climb up that table and survive in this league.
It's really nice as well to see, because I know there was a lot of people who weren't really sure on the Ian Holloway appointment. But I feel like he's, at the minute, obviously, he's got them playing good football. I think he's brought players in. I think there only might be loan players, but there are obviously loan players that he's done himself as well. Yeah. So I am really liking what he's doing at Swindon. And I think, obviously, for Uncle Nick's sake as well, it's so good to see, because we've heard him, and obviously the rest of the Swindon fans and their situation as well, very similar to obviously Morecambe. They went their own route, and it's just nice to see at least they are picking up the points. And as obviously somebody in their shoes as well, Jen, you can just see that it can happen. Yeah. So hopefully, fingers crossed as well. Fingers crossed. We will go to Rebecca as well, bless her. She has put, wow, what a win. Never expected it. I'll be honest, Sean Wally, take a bow, incredible goal. Atmosphere was class, and the lads put in an incredible shift. Great having Jake Batty back as well. Oh, we love Rebecca. We love Rebecca. Ben, any standouts for you on here?
I would have gone with Swindon, to be fair, because it's like they've won the last three now, and they've suddenly gone away from it, haven't they? I think they're 13 points clear of the drop time, which I think if you asked them 2 months ago where they'd be heading, I think Uncle Nick was saying they were heading for the National League. So I think they've just given themselves now a great chance now of staying in the division comfortably at this moment in time. You only need probably another 4 or 5 wins, and then they're sorted. But like Rebecca's obviously put, I would have said Aki's win at Crewe. Crewe been great form in the playoffs, but to lose the home to Aki, that will hurt them a lot, and they'll need to find a big response to that one. They will, but I will give them as well shout out, and sorry Jed about this, Carlisle, to be fair, big win for them against Fleetwood. I think it was a late goal, 5 minutes from time, they got them the 3 points there, and that's morale boosting for them, because you just, if they lose that game, you do start to, again, like as Jen was saying, you do start to question where do they find the points to get to get that what they need to stay in the division. But because Fleetwood's away was hard enough to go there in League One, let alone now going there in League Two, especially when you're right at the bottom. So And especially they got pegged back as well, things sort of midway through the second half. So they would have seen, thought they can't drop 2 points here. And to get sort of a late goal, 85th minute, they've just given themselves a bit of a chance again now. So that's the thing. It really is going to be a bit of a scramble down to that bottom, really, because to be honest, I generally do see Tranmere slipping in there. I really do, unless something changes there with management or whatever. So I know it's still Nigel Atkins, isn't it, the manager? So they need some help there. Otherwise, I think they're heading back to non-league football again, which would be a travesty for Tranmere, where they had a double relegation from League One to the National League, and then a double promotion back to League One, and now suddenly they're just going back down again. So their fans just can't. I know. That's the thing. They're double yo-yos. I always see yo-yo cuts between like one league and another, but they go between 2 leagues and 2 leagues below. It's like
no.
I can't keep up with Tranmere's progress anymore. It's that crazy. I mean, at least it's not boring being a Tranmere fan. Put it that way. But
I know
their fans, they can't afford to slip into non-league again. That would hurt the club massively. So they've got to pick up some results somewhere, or find a couple of new recruits. Otherwise, it could be a very nail-biting end to the season for them.
Completely agree. And we do have Dietrich as well. And Dietrich, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure aren't Bradford near the top of the form table? If not, they are top. Obviously, they have been picking up the points recently. She has put, still can't believe we won against the league leaders. 2 goals from Alex Patterson and 1 for Anthony Sarcevic for such a great game. Oh, yeah, they are. I didn't dream it. This is what I mean, because I've had so many postponements. I've got a lot of knowledge today. This is what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. But yeah, what a massive win for Bradford. They're really on the up at the minute, aren't they, Bradford?
Yeah.
Do you know what I feel like?
Last 18.
Yeah. Last week, the teams that we were bigging up and talking about. So I remember talking about Fleetwood because of Pete Wild, they lost. I remember us having a conversation about Walsall and how well they were doing and how many points clear, because I'm pretty sure as well it was Sam who was in the chat, and he mentioned obviously the lad that they had going back to Stoke, who they had on loan, and will it kind of affect them? So we had that conversation. They lost. And I remember as well going on about Salford and the Runderon and Grimsby. Both lost. So it's the curse of a podcast. This is a real thing. It's like Manager of the Month award, isn't it? We talk about a certain team and big them up, and then the next week and game, they lose. So I feel like we have that curse. We can do it to anyone. Watch your back, everyone. Don't upset us. Don't upset the GCB. But yeah, Walsall have lost the last 2 games. I know. We have got Graham. You've always got a lot of knowledge, Shah. You are Queen of Knowledge. Oh, thank you. I just don't use it very often. But please don't jinx us. I'll try not to, I promise. There's certain ones who I'll try very hard to, but there's certain ones who I won't. So be careful, everyone in the chat. Don't upset me. I'm coming for you. I'm joking, by the way. Don't tolerate violence. But we have obviously another slide. Jenna, I will come to you. Any standouts on this one for you?
Again, Swindon, Tranmere. That's a great 3-1 win for Swindon. And Tranmere they really are struggling at the minute. I don't know how they're going to get out of this unless something changes massively, because they just don't seem to be picking it up anywhere. And reading online, the fans are getting very angry and very annoyed at what's going on behind the scenes, which obviously you are going to get when you're near the bottom. Yeah. Luckily, we won't get angry at our players and Derek or anyone like that, because it's not their fault where we are right now. But I think it's going to get very nasty at Tranmere if things don't change soon.
I completely agree.
I think that's why everyone gives the likes of Morecambe a chance, because they know the fans are behind them. Whereas it's different at Tranmere. The likelihood of them going to non-league football is a travesty for their fans, because they are a big club in that league. They should be playing League One football for me. And the fact they're in this position right now is, to their fans, would be an absolute disgrace to them. So that's the thing. I think I've seen how passionate their fans are and how quickly it can turn at Tranmere back when they were last in non-league, and they do go against the team very quickly when it's not going their way, because they know for what they should be in that position. So yeah, they really have got their work cut out at the moment, and they're going to have to find some character from somewhere. Otherwise, they're in big danger here, I have to say.
Yeah.
Well, this is what Luke said. Tranmere were 1-0 up in the 85th minute before they messed it up towards the end of the game.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, that's the thing. Give Swindon some credit in that for not giving up in that, because that's the thing.
Exactly.
The three results they picked up, obviously 2 of them are against relegation rivals, and that's what you touched on, isn't it, at the end of the day? And that just shows that Swindon have got the stomach for the fight at the end of the day, where some of the teams maybe haven't had that at the bottom because they're dropping points against those bottom teams. So Swindon, they keep picking up those points against those teams they should be beating. Absolutely no problem with them staying up. But I to be honest, I think in the position they are now, I don't think they are going to sit back into it. I think they're doing enough now.
Yeah. One team as well that we obviously very familiar with Kieran, but is anyone else worried for Newport? Because they're really, really struggling at the minute, I think.
I don't know what's going on with them. It's just crazy. Like, they was totally fine mid-table, and then they've slipped right down to near the relegation zone. And it's just like, what's happened? Like, what is actually going on? Like, we're literally like 7 points away from like being near them. Like, it's crazy. And we play them next Tuesday, so that could be an exciting one to watch.
That could definitely be an exciting one as well. And especially if this does happen with the signing, hopefully fingers crossed. But that could be massive for you, Jen.
That could be like
they're in such poor form.
Because obviously we was meant to play Saturday, but it got called off, didn't it? So now it's
it did.
I'm going to say, I think your players will be quite up for it now, won't they? After what happened last time, especially.
I mean, I think getting all the way down there for it to be called off and then nothing to turn back. I think it's worked out better for us now. It being played on Tuesday, especially if we get Dallas. I think it's going to be that could be a 6-pointer for us, 100%.
And going there, obviously the form they're in, I think I've just looked at their form table. They haven't won in 6 games, so they really are in a bad state. So you'd probably rather go there now than maybe you would have done when you were meant to play them, because I think you're in a better position for it now. So I'll keep a close eye on that one. Well, next week.
Yeah.
Is it on Sky Sports? Is it?
It'll be on Sky Sports.
I'm going to try and watch that actually. We haven't got a game on the Tuesday, so I might try and watch that.
That could be really interesting, honestly. I can't believe looking at Tranmere as well, the goal difference. I know we were talking about Alpovia, but I've just got a feeling, mate. I think I didn't realise how close it was, to be honest.
Yeah, it's scary. Like,
it's really like anyone could get dragged into it, couldn't they?
You lose a few games and we win a few games, you're getting dragged into it. It's as simple as that.
That's crazy.
Because Harrogate are not in the clear yet, even with that 8 points. Like you say, with the games in hand, Carlisle and Morecambe have, like say, pick up at least even just one win, and that it's suddenly you start to look over your shoulders. Like, it is so tight, and everyone will be fighting for their lives down there. That's the thing. It's a proper relegation dogfight. Which, if you're a neutral, it's all right. But obviously, if you take your team, you just get used to fighting those every single week on it until that last week of April.
We will move on from League Two now. So I will quickly read the table. So top, we do have Walsall on 58 points. Doncaster Rovers are second on 49 points. Notts County, I do want to give credit to Notts County, actually. I didn't realise how well they have been defensively, to be fair, this season. Because that's one thing, I think it was actually Claire who pointed it out and said they're very, very good going forward. But I think it was last season, and she was kind of worried about how they would be defensively this season, but they're really, really doing well defensively as well. So, doing really, really well in Notts County. Quickly, sorry, I will read this from Dietrich as well, just because it's Dietrich. I'll take the 1-0 all day long. I'm so sorry, Jen. Callum Kavanagh on the score sheet, Super Sam Walker in goal. So fourth, we do have Bradford City on 47 points. Crewe Alexandra are fifth on 47 points. AFC Wimbledon are sixth on 45 points. And Port Vale are seventh on 45 points. And then in the relegation zone, we have Carlisle United, who are 23rd on 21 points. And Morecambe, not for long though, are 24th on 20 points. We'll quickly move on now to League One. I know there's a lot of League One fans in the chat, so please send in your match reports on any of the games. Ben, I'll come to you first. Any standouts on here or any you want to talk about?
Another good result for Leyton Orient against Reading. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know where they picked their form up from. That's the thing. They've really given themselves now the chance of the playoffs. I don't know what the unbeaten run's like now, but I think they're on a terrific unbeaten run, I'm pretty sure, or at least they haven't lost very often recently. So that's the thing. But I'll be to see when obviously they got their FA Cup match coming against Man City, because if they keep this form going and that, they might actually think, do you know what, we might have a shout against them to maybe take it all away.
That would make me laugh.
I mean, I'd love to see him do it. That's the thing, because what a proper cup story that would be. Because we're in one of those traditional proper league clubs. Very enclosed ground. It's a tough place to go, Brisbane Road. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. But yeah, that's a great result for them against Reading, who've slipped a little bit in recent weeks. They were doing really well at one point, but I think obviously the managerial changes started to affect them now a little bit, because they are slowly slipping down the table now, which. They were even. I think they would have been pleased to even been up there in the first place. Obviously, after the start of the season with their off-field struggles and that. But because I think a lot of them are probably thinking, look, let's just make sure we stay up in the division. But they're going to comfortably do that. That'll be fine for them. And then obviously another one as well. Probably we haven't spoken about too much recently, but Lincoln City 5-1 win over Peterborough. Again, what is going on at Peterborough at the moment? A side that's normally at the top end of League One, battling relegation at the moment because if they step into League Two, my goodness me.
Karma, Ben. Call karma.
Oh, yeah, I bet it is.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
They step into League Two, they'll be the cause for the apocalypse there, will Peterborough, if they step into League Two. I don't think they can afford that. The Championship club not that long ago used to be the Boomerang Club. But yeah, just that's a killer that for them away at Lincoln. But they would have been, pleased to get that. And obviously we won't talk about the Kean Hayes own goal, though, will we? Or do we have to?
Don't talk about that on this podcast. No, I'm joking.
There's a Kean Hayes fan club in here. This is.
Yeah. No negativity towards Kean whatsoever. One thing I did want to mention, though, obviously, when we did speak about Reading, Sam Smith, their striker, has been linked, and it's heavily rumoured that he might be going to Wrexham, I think it is. Pretty sure it is Wrexham, so... Yeah. I feel like this has been set up perfectly for me with Chris. Bolton picking up a great win over Huddersfield. They needed that win.
You tried so hard on that as well.
I know. I feel like that was set up for me perfectly. But one thing I did want to mention, I don't know if anyone has seen it, but it has been announced that Stephen Schumacher is now Bolton's manager. I was reading it and I thought, do I read it? And then I thought, do you know what? Yeah.
I bet we just call them the Wanderers. We're just calling the Wanderers there from now on. You don't have to say it, do you?
Oh, funny. Honestly, I don't care. You can keep going on about my accent. It's funny at this point. I didn't realize I had that much of an accent until I started doing this podcast and everyone was pointing it out. I honestly thought my accent was just plain boring and not even like... But yeah, we do obviously have a few League One fans in the chat. So Graham has put, no one wants to talk about their League One team. So 15 minutes of Charlton talk it is then. And then he did send in his match report. So Shrewsbury at home, a game of patience. Shrewsbury came to get a 0-0, very organised, and we struggled to break them down. But thankfully, we did that in a 90+6 minute. Hard-fought win to keep the run going. Love that. Do you know what? I love late winners, me. Obviously, on your side, the scenes and the limbs of late winners. It's one of them where I go home. I do anyway. When we score a goal, I end up full of bruises and stuff anyway. Oh, yeah. But like a late, honestly, you can't take me anywhere, Ben. Can't take me anywhere. I need to go wrapped up in bubble wrap because I'm that bad. I come back just full of bruises and cuts. And he put as well, Graham, and you'll see when the table is shown, but the playoff race in League One is getting bonkers too. 6th to 15th is 7 points, I think. Oh, thanks, Johnny. The highlight of his Thursday is listening to your accent. You mustn't have a lot going on a Thursday, Ben, Johnny. But thank you. I do appreciate that. We will get back. This one really, really made me laugh. I'm so sorry, Sean, but it did crack me up. Do you honestly want my match report, Shah? If you do, I'll be short and sweet. We were shy.
I think we're getting a lot of those recently, aren't we?
Yeah, I know. Aled put how we went from a class performance against Brum and then the disaster of Tuesday. Oh, bless him. Graham has put the Valley went bonkers when we scored. Absolute scenes. Also, I got to see a thunder bastard to the corner flag when we scored. Love that. Love it. Kyle thinks it's very, 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 very funny about Bristol Rovers. He's put nothing else needed to be said. Got beat off Wigan. Get beat off Wigan. Pretty sure as well. Who is it? Bear with me. Wigan have signed someone from Crawley. Yeah, Ronan Darcy. Ronan Darcy. Very good signing. Very good signing for them. Cambridge and Burton picking up some great wins at home. Anyone else got any standouts before we move on to the next slide?
I think, to be fair, they're probably, they're going to get a lot of credit this week, but Stevenage have had a cracking week, haven't they? For 2 big away wins. But yeah, I think, with the win against Barnsley, don't think many people would have seen that one, to be fair. But
I Barnsley on my bet, Ben. That's why. That's why.
Along with your Boltons as well. Yeah, of course. I forgot about them. Wondrous. But yeah, no, that's a great result that for Stevenage and that. What great way. Sorry, Aled. I'm only going to say only good sides beat Stevenage. Sorry. Once, twice.
Oh, funny. Any other standouts for you, Jen? Or
no, I think the Burton one's probably a good one as well.
Yeah, Burton's really good.
4-2 is absolutely incredible, and then they're definitely getting the points to get out of that relegation zone as well. So I think that's very good for them.
Let's move on to midweek. We've got another win for Bolton Wanderers, and who they playing, Sean?
What's his favorite for this one? We were double shy.
I know. That serves you right for saying Barnsley. But look at Burton Albion again.
Yeah, smashing it at the minute.
Doing very well, aren't they? Very well. Obviously, Charlton getting a win again for our Graham. Leighton Orient, no.
Yeah, 6-2.
What a game that was.
Just thinking, what a great... Do you just think, like, when you go to some of these long away trips on a Tuesday night and you win a game in that fashion, what a journey that must have been back, as much as obviously they would have been knackered, those Orient fans. Yeah. What a night out that would have been, an extra 6 goals. And sitting going home, sitting in the playoffs. What a night.
Yeah.
But Leighton Orient were 4-0 up, I think.
Wow.
Absolutely correct, Ben. No need for me to answer that question. Johnny put Peterborough won. They did win. We'll go back to Graham as well. So Graham has put his match report. I feel like I'm getting hiccups again, so please bear with me. Bristol Rovers at home. Comfortable 2-0 win in the end. Rovers started better, but once we scored in the 13th minute, we were the only side in it. Their keeper kept it respectable. 3 wins in a row now. They're on the up, aren't they, Charlton? They are on the up.
Won the last 3 now.
Yeah. Kyle, again, is laughing at Rovers. He's a Bristol City fan, if anybody didn't know. I agree with it. Yeah, Orient were 3-0 up in 30 minutes and 4-0 up in 35. I do agree with this as well. Stockport, obviously, it did get 2 wins. 2 wins for them. Very, very good. Graham, that's 6 wins in 8-2. Really hit a great run of form and not conceding many either. Tough one at Blackpool on Saturday up next. Oh, let's have a look if there's any more standouts. mean, Rotherham won again as well.
Mm-hmm.
Went for Rotherham. Wickham, obviously a good result for them considering they have lost the manager, haven't they? He did go to Luton, I think it was, wasn't it? But we don't talk about we don't talk about Luton because it makes me sad.
Yeah.
Do you know what the funniest thing was? I backed them in my predictions to win the league.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, when you flip it upside down, they might still have a chance.
Exactly. Yeah. Funniest thing is, I should not be talking about things like that because I have so much grief anyway of people saying, "Oh, I don't understand football because I'm a girl," and I'm completely proving them right. Oops.
This is a banter podcast. Hey.
And Michael, are you lovely? Just thought I'd say hello and support before I go to sleep. Hello, hope you're okay, and hope you had a wonderful birthday yesterday as well. We've got Orient versus Stockport. How that's not on TV. The only trouble with games being picked months in advance. I completely agree with that. Completely agree. But yeah, Birmingham obviously winning. We should win. Spent a lot of money. We should be. Sean in the chat as well. But I mean, Liam Shaw had an eventful night against Bolton. I love how he spelled it with a U. Scored our goal, got booked, and then scored an own goal. You can tell I'm getting giddy now because I'm starting to laugh like a proper laugh. You'll notice it. I'm doing it again. Right, I need to compose myself now. We're nearly at the championship. We've done so well. Sorry, we have got Aled's match report as well. He has put, from an absolute class display against Brum, where we could have snatched a win, we went to a disaster start against Stevenage. Credit where it is due, they deserve the win. And then he's put, I can accept a loss, but not when a team left it till the last 20, 30 minutes to show up. It's always frustrating, that, isn't it? But at the same time, they have performed well a lot of the season, haven't they, Wrexham? I mean, look at them, sat in third. And I know it is so frustrating, especially when you play so well one game and then obviously the next. But I just think it'll be a little bit of I just think it'll be a bad game. I don't think it'll be a poor run of form for Wrexham at all. I think they'll come through it. I really, really do. Don't know what you think, Khaled, but
even if they finish in the playoffs, I think that's still a great achievement. I know, obviously,
very good.
They spend a lot of money, but look, they've had back-to-back promotions. I know, that's the thing. If they finish like third in that league at the first attempt, I think the lads can be really pleased with that, to be honest, because no one's expecting them to go straight up to the championship because they know now they're at a level where it gets really hard. So if they get up to the championship, massive credit to them, money or not. But if not, then I think they might well go and smash it next year.
Yep. Completely agree with that. Here's put, we have a month of away games to come up and we are terrible away from home. Don't worry. I'll also put the other teams on my acca for you. I don't promote gambling, by the way, guys. I only have like a quid here and there. I promise. Chris has put Burton only 3 points behind Northampton now. 2 wins have done so much good for themselves. Yeah. Mentals, considering how Burton were at one point. They were really far down, weren't they? Yeah. 8th Capitals, 1 point outside the playoffs with a game in hand. It's the hope that kills you. Think positive, Graham. Think. Where's that come from? I told you. I'm losing it at the minute. Lucas put, Shrewsbury have held themselves well in this league for a while. It's just not been their season for them. Yeah, I completely agree. Just reading the table before we move on to Championship. So League One. Top of the table, we have Birmingham City on 60 points. Wycombe Wanderers as second on 58 points. Wrexham are third on 52 points. Huddersfield Town are fourth on 48 points. I can't help it. I need to go back to school and learn how to pronounce my H's. Stockport County are fifth on 47 points. Leyton Orient are sixth on 44 points. And then in the relegation zone, sorry, 21st, we have Burton Albion on 24 points. Crawley Town are 22nd on 24 points. Cambridge United are 23rd on 21 points. And Shrewsbury Town are 24th, bottom of League One on 20 points. Aled has put Shrewsbury still in relegation at least. Some good things this week of games. Crawley 3 points behind us and have 2 games in hand. We need to start picking up points. They are losing a couple of players though, Crawley, as I did mention. No H podcast, exactly. I don't pronounce my H's. I'm sorry, where I come from, we don't pronounce H's. We are one of those Crawley games, Sean. Aled has put our next away trips are Crawley and Northampton. Right. Oh, and look at that. What a result at the top of a championship. Sheffield United 0. I pronounced my H on this one, though. Hull City. Hull. It won 3-0. And as I mentioned last week, I was joking, having a bit of banter with Johnny. So I did do the Sheffield United result wrong as banter, but I didn't need to do it this week because they kind of did it themselves, really, didn't they? And Johnny is in full agreement, to be fair. He's put Hull City at home. We deserve to be down 1-0, but had a goal wrongly chalked off. And then make it worse, their second goal was offside. But other than them 2 calls, we were shit. But if anybody is listening on audio, this is actually what I am reading out. I am not saying this, by the way. So yeah, but other than the 2 calls, we were shit, but Hull deserved to win. Made a few signings this week, but what made my weekend was that Sunderland and Leeds drew. Kyle has put cracking result against Blackburn. Yeah, Bristol City obviously were the winners. 2-1 against Blackburn. Jen, I'll come to you. Any standouts for you?
It's got to be Sunderland and Plymouth. That was some game that for Plymouth to get that draw is incredible for them, especially like you said, the last minute. That would have been incredible for them fans for that 900-mile round trip that they did. I just think that's credit to all their fans that did that drive and went up there and supported the team, because that is some drive. I don't think I could ever do it that far. But when you're at the bottom end of the country, everything's far away from you. So there's nothing you can do about it.
I know. Sam as well has just popped up. He's put some big championship transfers today. Milenik Ali from Exeter to Luton Town, and Emmanuel, I want to say...
What the hell is that name?
Latala from Borough to Atalanta United. Sam, why are you setting me up like that? At least tell me the names properly first. But yeah, if anyone's watching, I'll leave it up for you. You can read them, because I absolutely butchered that one. West Brom getting 5 points against Portsmouth. Ben, any standouts for you?
Well, see, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I remember Ant did say last week that he was really worried about that Plymouth fixture, wasn't they? Just because of the contrast in forms. And now I said that, I was like, okay, right, I sort of get where he was coming from now. And it was a last minute goal, wasn't it? So yeah, like Jen said, the limbs for those supporters that made that long trip there. You know, what a moment that would have been, and particularly for the difficult situation they've been in, especially after getting battered, last week by Burnley. That would have been a massive, booster for the players. That would, they've still got a long way to go. They're still 7 points off safety at the moment, but picking up points away from home against sides like Sunderland, they may as well just give a bit of confidence to just put a couple of results together and give themselves a chance. But other than that, but I think obviously Simon alluded to it earlier. Super Frankie Lampard,
I know.
2-1 win for them. They're moving slowly back up that table. They're only 6 points off the playoffs now. So look, you got to give the man some credit sometimes. I know he's not the best manager, but he knows the championship, and that's where he tends to deliver. And obviously, as I wouldn't say the pressure on Tom Cleverley, because obviously, look, we said it'd be an absolute madness if they were to sack him, but maybe that sort of rumours that's been going around has probably unsettled, the apple cart a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely for their players, because obviously that's the thing. They're probably worried, thinking, look, we lose this game, we might lose our manager. Obviously, nothing's come of it yet, but the fact that even it was being considered by the owners and that sort of thing is absolutely ridiculous, because, it's obviously, like I say, it's unsettled everyone at the club when they were in a good position, and now suddenly they're thinking, one loss and we think he might go. That's the thing. So, I don't think that would have been. That's not probably the way I would have played it if I was the owners down there. But yeah, for Coventry, they've had very tough time this season, and it's starting to come together now. I think Victor Torp got both goals for them as well, so they would have really needed that, and it's given that today a little bit of a boost. And can they hit some form now? Maybe some playoff form now to really get in that top 6 or so, because they've got a chance now. But they've got to make sure they follow this up at the weekend, because there's no point doing it against Watford and losing at the weekend. So they've got to follow it up with another big result now.
Sam's doing me dirty, guys. But I feel like I can do this one. I can do it. Here's another one for you, Sharp. Blackburn are linked with Augustus Campo. Is that right?
Augustus just reminds me of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah,
I just had to say that. Augustus Gloop.
It's like singing a song.
That's the only reason why I feel like I got that one right. Sam has mentioned as well, Hadji Wright is not too far away from returning from injury, apparently too, for Cov. That'd be massive for them.
That'd be a massive boost for them. He's one of the best players in the Championship on his day.
Such a good player. Really like him. Johnny put, anyone see the chess game on Monday with one shot and target the whole game? I know. What a thriller. Fair few home wins in a championship. I know. A lot of home wins. Johnny's put as well, we signed Harry Clark from Ipswich yesterday on loan. This would have been my standout, obviously, West Brom. 4-0 up at half-time as well. Ended up winning 5-1 against Portsmouth. Plymouth fans apparently left at 3 a.m. to get there for that, apparently. Wow.
That is painful.
And probably getting back about 3 a.m. as well after that.
Yeah, it's like a 24-hour round trip, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. Mental. Aladis put, if one was to get relegated out of Cardiff or Swansea, who is most likely to? Grimes is looking likely of leaving Swansea for Coventry. Who do you two think? Cardiff or Swansea to get relegated? So a quick look.
They're all similar, aren't they?
I would probably say Cardiff are probably more
I'd
risk.
say Cardiff more. Yeah.
It's easy to say because Swansea are 3 points clear of them, but I think I think Cardiff, the way they've been contrasting this season, it's quite easy for them to slip into it, because you think about it, Derby win, or the couple win, couple of them down the bottom, win the couple of games, and they're right in that battle. That's the thing. Whereas Swansea have got that little bit of breathing space at this moment in time. But I would see. But I don't think either of them will go down personally. But I think gun to my head right now, I think probably Cardiff. I would say out of the two. Yeah,
definitely. Just going back as well, we did have a midweek game. Obviously, Millwall beat Portsmouth 1-0. In the chat as well, Chris has put, no one rant this week, but conceding a 90th minute equaliser. Much hurt for Sunderland. Yeah, it wasn't a happy runner. But yeah, the championship table. So top of the championship, we do have Leeds United on 60 points. Sheffield United are second on 58 points. Burnley are third on 57 points. Sunderland are fourth on 55 points. Now, there's a really big gap, isn't there? West Brom are fifth on 44 points. Middlesbrough are sixth, also on 44 points. And then we have at the bottom, Derby County are 22nd on 27 points. Luton Town, bless them, are 23rd on 26 points. And then bottom of the championship are Plymouth Argyle on 22 points. So Luton double dip. Are we thinking so?
It's really hard to say right now.
It's really not looking good, is it?
No.
I just can't see where the points are going to come from them. It seems like
I don't.
Silly points this season, and it was a bit of a gamble, I think. Maybe to bring Bloomfield, who's obviously he's done wonders at Wycombe this season, but he's having to change his mindset very quickly because you're going from a side that was challenging for promotion to a side now that's just doing everything they can to stay in the division. And I don't know. I think just the way it's been going for them, I do see they might slip out of the Championship, to be fair, because I think Portsmouth are starting to pick up a couple of good results now. Stoke maybe might slip into it as well, to be fair, because they've just kept slowly slipping down that table. But a few of the sides are starting to put, down the bottom, starting to put some decent results together, and some of them put some good runs together. So I think Luton, out of that bunch there, I think they're most likely to the moment, unless it changes very drastically. I can't see them getting out of it.
It's not looking good at all. Not looking good for him. But that is the end of our football chat. And thank you so much. I mean, it's just been the three of us, but we did it. I reckon we smashed it as well. We covered a lot, didn't we? I don't want to put words into anyone's mouth, but I feel like we're a trio. Dream trio. Yeah, exactly. JCB. Remember, Jen, and Ben. But of course, I couldn't do it. I couldn't have done it just with you two, but everyone in the chat as well. You just make it really good every single week. And yeah, Graham, the Three Musketeers. I love it. But Jen, where can everybody find you if they want a bit more Jen in the life?
Well, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all the good stuff. It's JenHunt_, and hopefully we can get a win on Saturday, sign Dallas tomorrow, and then we can climb up that table. That's what we want.
Ben, where can everybody find you?
Find me on Ben Stones FC1 on Twitter. Hopefully there'll be some positive tweets to come out of the weekend in our big 6-pointer clash against Torquay. So come on the Stones, let's sort this out, please.
Johnny has put as well, I know it's not football related, but I started a new job this week. They sent me on a forklift qualification. Oh, well done. Congratulations, Johnny. I hope it goes well.
Amazing.
Sam has put a cheeky teaser for everyone. We have some new jingles coming. Ooh.
Are you singing, Sam? Please tell me you're singing.
Oh, yeah.
It's not me anyway. Sam, you better not have a new singer of the pod. I'm the singer.
You got a birthday jingle as well, by any chance? We love a birthday jingle in here. Is it just Shah doing it on repeat?
Just me. And if anybody does want to find me, if you want me to sing happy birthday to you, you know where to find me. I am SharXREFC. That is on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well. One of my TikToks did really, really well. I'm really proud of it. It was that Rochdale one. I sent it in our group chat. So I feel like I'm a TikTok sensation now. Got like 100 views. I'm joking. But my Her Game 2 stuff as well is Rochdale HGT and all of them socials. But of course, before we go to the socials, I sing just for Ben. It's called Ben by Boyzone, Michael Jackson.
I like that. Look forward to hearing it.
Oh, of course. Anytime, Chris. Anytime. You've got any friends who want me to sing happy birthday? Give me a shout. I'm your girl. Johnny's put, I'm boycotting if Shah losing the singing privileges. I don't think that will happen, to be fair. Don't think that will happen. Graham has put, just need the absolutely or absolutely not intro played on repeat. That is a classic one, to be fair. Aled has put, I kind of don't want to go up as well as I'll miss out on Charlton away. But of course, the most important ones. We have Absolute Football Podcast. And as you can see, we did win Best New Content Creator at the Football Content Awards. I mean, still not over it. Still don't think I'll ever be over it. But we won it. I think it might be for our great singing.
Yeah.
I'll say great knowledge of football. Who knows? Who knows? But we are on Twitter. We are Absolute Ball Pod. On YouTube and Twitch, we are Absolute Football Podcast. On TikTok, we are Absolute Football Pod. On Instagram, we are Absolute Football Podcast _. On Blue Skies, we are Absolute Football. And then we have Absolute Football Podcast on Facebook. On a Monday, not a Monday. Not Monday, on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday, we are Absolutely Premier League. On a Wednesday, we are Absolutely Women's Football. And then on a Thursday, you can catch us. We have Absolutely Lower League Gang, and we cover the EFL Championship, League 1, League 2, Vanarama National League, Vanarama National League North and South. And then obviously next week will be FA Trophy as well. So please, please, please tune in. Let's have a quick look in the chat before we go. So we have a little bit of conversation between Aled and Graham. Kyla said as well, looks like I might have a birthday song on the channel. Oh boy. Why is everyone so happy for me to sing to them? My singing's really bad. Chris has put, my fiance is getting me into listening to the Wiki soundtrack. Brilliant. I love that film. It was so good. I'll sing that as well if you want me to. Johnny's put, I have the exam tomorrow for the qualification. Fingers crossed I pass it. Fingers crossed for you, Johnny. We really hope you pass it. But yeah, thank you to each and every person for tuning in as always. You just make it the show that it is. Hope you all have a very lovely weekend. Hope your teams win. And yeah, ta-ta for now. Thank you, everybody.